Welcome to Yerba Talks.
Welcome to another video review. I am Max. This is Kat, and unfortunately, we have Roger again. He's making such a big push for top left that when I was looking at what to do for tonight, this came up, and special thanks to Mike Gurney, who made me aware of the derpitude on this stream. Let me get the link over there. Before we do anything, make sure to do the social things like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and you'll subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. All right, I'll pin the link. One moment. There we go. Pinned. I see all of you there cheering for the cat attack, but no, it didn't happen. You love watching me get hurt and yelling like, ah! No, it looks like we're good. I see him. He's going to bed. Damn you. All right. Okay. So, Woger Unwell. Isis Spin says, cat attack.exe fatal error. Yes, fortunately. My legs, dude, my legs need some time to heal. He's freaking... I swear, I can't even post a picture of my legs on YouTube because it will get taken down. But all right, let's freaking go. So they are talking about S&P waves. And hopefully, everyone invoke with your mind powers, invoke PhD Tony so he can help us because, you know, he's an expert in this particular topic. So he could definitely give us a way better explanation than I could give for the S&P waves. I can give you the layman's explanation, but PhD Tony certainly would have more precise info. Jim Daniels says Dan tried to raid. No, he's having problems. Yes, Dan. Hello, great stream today. I came in and out, but yes, pretty awesome. Thank you. Ashton Forbes is a piece of work. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, you might have to walk me through that whole raid thing because I fucked that up beyond belief.
Yes. Give me. I can show you now. Give me 1 sec. Let me swap accounts. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, the man, the legend, Mike Gurney. Hello.
Hello.
Mike is my brother from another mother who subjects himself to mental disability by constantly watching Roger's stream, so I don't have to.
Yes, he was the one that made me aware of this particular one. And I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he told me about it on my channel, and I'm just like, we have so much derp. We really do.
Yeah, Roger streams go from one extreme to the other. They're either really dull and boring, or they're spectacular. And this one is spectacular.
So
let me pull this
here
across.
on the YouTube studio, on the customization section, right?
Yep.
You have redirect down here, and you click
Under
add
what tab? Customization?
customization. Yes. For example,
Okay, and then
we have MC Tune, who's coming up right after us. So we're going to set up the redirect to him, and then you hit
does
save.
it say? Oh, hold on. I can't redirect. It says.
That's weird.
I'm on channel customization. Is it the actual?
No,
link?
on the video itself.
Oh, well, fuck. All right. Well, I already closed that. So all right.
So
I'll
here,
look at it next time.
when you're on the YouTube studio, you edit the video and then click customization, and there it's there.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it, sir.
No problemo.
I didn't mean to derail everybody.
Basil, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Why do you continue supporting MDD, a racist misinformation channel? And I mean, you're right. I don't know if
a point.
You have a point. You always, yes, you have a point. Now, I don't support that. I do support, you know, what we've spoken before of debating, and I do kind of like that. And unfortunately, it's kind of the place where most debates are happening, the ones that I'm interested in. But you're 100% correct. That being said, there is a little bit of a self-interest there, in that I hope to get a free trip to the US to debate. But you're completely right, and it's getting harder and harder with some of the stuff that's been going on to support it. But yeah, good to have you back, Basil. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, it's tricky. It's getting trickier and trickier. But you're I don't disagree with you at all. All right. So this is going to be amazing.
He said hi. 30 ketchup, Big Pine, and Sea Lightning, and Scott Level Realm.
Oh my God! Why is it that they all wave like they're the queen of the carnival, like in the parade? Just get to it.
How you guys doing tonight? And Sea Lightning put a video in there of a copper dome with an old world building. Yeah, huge government old world building. Let's take a look at it right quick.
Yeah, he gave me a message of that earlier today as well.
The old world building?
No, you didn't miss the cat attack today, Laurie. It didn't happen, fortunately.
Then cat comes from behind or from under your legs and attacks.
No, he went. I saw him go to bed. So.
Oh, he's stalking you under your desk. You just don't know yet.
No.
The copper, he commented on one of my videos and left this link.
Nice. I just took a look at it just for a second. Heat waves prove the molten iron core of the Earth somehow. So we're going to take a look at that later. I've heard of it. I never really have. They'll take a look at that later.
Roger, what the hell is that? Roger, does Roger use YouTube as a replacement for like safe for work porn? Oh my God.
Yes.
Brenda, how you doing?
I'm okay. I just plan on kind of listening. I don't expect me to participate too much, but I'm just here to support the stream and chime in whenever possible. Roger and Chris show themselves to be extraordinarily stupid. Oh my God, there's dumb. Because I've already heard this.
Yes, yeah, this is absolutely dumb as hell.
I've heard of it. I never really have delved deep into it, but I know it's just like a sonogram that they use to X-ray the Earth. And what they do is, the longer it takes, that's how they determine what substance is going through, kind of thing. And the wave patterns too. So we'll look into it. Let's take a look at this thing. I get the play button. There it goes. I think I've seen this before.
I'll mute the music just in case. So yeah, here they're just showing a dome. Like this is
what's hilarious though is that they claim that this is an old world structure.
Yeah.
But as soon as this clip finishes, or at the end, it shows you where it is. And I Googled it, and that roof that they claim is an old world structure is 2016.
Ah. Of course.
Hey, you know what? 10 years is ancient.
Yeah, I mean, it's from the previous civilization.
It's not green yet.
The previous generation. Yeah,
Roger,
but
I think I need to start wearing this on Fleur streams to protect my brain from smoothing out.
Roger does comment about the roof being very well maintained and the copper hasn't even started to rust.
Right.
Rust?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You mean oxidize? Roger, it's called oxidize. Fuck me.
Oxidization.
You know what? I'm pouring more rum. This is ridiculous.
But the funny thing is, if this is it's
Mikey's
building.
area.
It's a government building. So they're going to keep it. They're going to prevent it from going green because, I mean, that's the point, right?
Well, why didn't they stop the Statue of Liberty from going green?
Ah, that's interesting. I don't know.
To be honest,
I guess
she looks
the
good green.
patina protects it. Yeah, I think it looks great like that. But it would, I think maybe it's a more logistical challenge to keep that. You would have to polish the whole thing over and over and over and over. So I don't know. I guess it's better that way.
Yeah, copper
Thank
rust.
You, appreciate it.
Way to go, Aldebaran.
Old world technology. Well, it took technology to make that, David, too, on top of that. You know. So they had to develop the technology to mine the copper and purify it and press it out and build it.
Motherfucker, in the Bible, they were already mining iron and smelting it, and it only just got better from there. What a dumbass. It's not a new technique to mine for metal ore and smelt it. I mean, the Chinese, the Japanese, they were already doing pretty good steel smelting back in like a couple of 1,000 years ago. Whoa, holy shit, they're dumb.
That, you know, so the technology came before the technology. I get. Yeah. It is a beautiful place, though. Isn't it? You like it?
I think that copper was a big part of their budget. It was not cheap. Yeah. However, what was he's referring that the copper from when it was built, like what is it? Old world. I'm trying to understand what the point, because he didn't comment really.
Well, he's just showing antiquitech, I think is what he's trying to say. Like it's
okay.
Old world technology.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a link for I'm gonna put a link for Morgile in the chat. He needs help, guys. He's trying to get back on his feet. He's working too, so he did a call out for people earlier on the live stream.
Oh, they go into the details of that just a little bit later. So we're going to put a pin on that for now.
He's a good guy, John is. So if you guys could help him out or pass it along, he needs help.
No,
he's been around for a while.
Don't. No.
But don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, molten iron core. Here we go. S waves and P waves. There's physics into this technology too, they say. But how deep have they gone? That's the question.
The fuck does Roger know about physics?
Well, if you ask him everything.
Well, yeah, he's a typical flirt. He knows everything about anything. Just ask him.
He's debunked Einstein. What more do you want?
That's
sorry?
true. He debunked Einstein's time dilation.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. When I saw it, they said it went 8 to 5 kilometers deep with this stuff. I don't think you can actually get a feel for the entire Earth just by going.
Ooh, welcome, Jack. How you doing?
Evening, folks. I didn't want to miss an episode of Idiot Sunday.
Well, this is Idiot Sunday times 3.
Yeah, I love how they use old world as though it means something. Copper was used because they didn't have fucking shingles, like cheap shit, and copper lasts 100 years. So if you had the money for copper, or if it was the time when that's all they had, it was a perfect roofing material. But as far as big areas of copper, there's a building in Ann Arbor, Michigan, that has a roof that's almost a half a mile long. At its widest point, it's 290 feet, and it's all sheathed in copper.
Jack, it gets better. The roof on this building was made in 2016.
Well, but they were probably replacing existing copper. Copper's not an unusual material.
No.
And the green, by the way, is what people want. The green patina. Like no one wants. Could you imagine having to keep that copper polished?
Fuck that.
I mean, it's cheap and accessible. That's why it was used.
Well, it's not as cheap anymore, though. That's why it's not used so much. Copper has gotten way more expensive. It's like you find that in like highfalutin foofy houses up in the Northeast usually.
Right, but I meant that's what we use for like wiring and stuff.
Yeah. But
right.
I don't think Roger realizes he could get a job polishing all that copper. It's right up his alley. And he doesn't require going to Antarctica.
David Koresh says etherical energy harvesting. Oh my God, dumbasses.
Going that deep. Supposedly the Earth is a lot deeper than that. I'm pretty sure it's pretty deep myself, but it doesn't make it a sphere.
Okay.
So let's share this a little bit.
You're talking about on the like the realm. How deep is the Earth in the realm?
Yeah, yeah. How could you actually determine how deep it is? I don't think there's any way to do that.
Right. I think it's only like the sky. Maybe only 40 miles deep. Maybe.
Could be.
They use the word maybe and supposedly an awful lot in their science.
Yeah, and like he just said, I think it's 40 miles. Like, okay, but like, why, where, who, how? Like, ecstasy versus small titties, Vika Barguli stand-up comedy. Okay.
I also love how he said earlier that they use ultrasound to X-ray the ground. I'm like, ultrasound sound waves, buddy, and X-rays are X-rays. Get your, He even started the whole thing by saying, I haven't heard of this before. This is new. Like, why would you cover something you know nothing about?
Oh, you'll see. You'll see
ultrasound
why.
the ground as opposed to LiDAR? That's funny.
He's covering this now because he argued with me about it on the stream the day before when he wouldn't let me in after the Astronomy Live massacre.
These two guys, Chris and Roger, are made for each other. I think if you combine their IQs, might be well over 85.
Oh my God! The suggestion at the bottom of the video of here says sexiest magicians ever on Got Talent. Roger, what the fuck are you watching? Oh my God!
Well, isn't he the guy that confused the camera with something you pee into?
Yes.
I should order one of these guys to take with me to Antarctica. What do you think? I can tell where the refraction is and the gravity.
You don't really recover from this one. I'm surprised.
A little camera and a gauge.
Roger can recover from any sort of embarrassment. He actually says he never said that, even though we have the clip.
Like, it's on video, dummy.
It's not out of context.
The live is still up on his stream. He hasn't taken it down.
Niken said, I feel like I'm part of the club now. My name was included in one of the recent posts by Holly, Blue Waffle, Sandy Crater, or however you want to call her.
Crazy.
I mean, she didn't tag me.
You graduated.
She didn't tag me for 2 posts, and I actually had FOMO. I felt like I wasn't part of. I wasn't worth tagging anymore. I felt bad.
She had another complete mental breakdown stream, just repeating herself over and over, like, these people, medicine cabinets, and they're pedophiles, and this and that, like, just the same thing over and over and over. She's just insane.
Like, we can only go 7 miles. I mean, who knows? 40 miles is pretty dang on deep.
Yeah. Well,
just in case, Fuse School, this seems like a channel to make science accessible, and the whole, graphic and all. I mean, this is a channel of science for kids, is my guess, right?
that's 12 kilometers basically. That's what
yeah,
7.9 miles, I think.
It looks like grade school science class. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6th or 7th
Is as
grade.
deep as it got. They actually go into that in here too. I think I watched most of this. But let's take a gander. Notice it's astrophysics.
In this video, you're going to learn how we used earthquakes to look deep into the Earth.
All right.
How deep is the deepest mine on Earth? Is it A, 1 kilometers, B, 2.5 kilometers, C, 4 kilometers, or D, 9?
All right. Who wants to guess?
I think it's 9.
Okay.
Oh no, this is the deepest mine. I'm sorry. Mine is 4.
Mine. Yeah,
I wanna
this is
say
not
B.
the Cora borehole.
I've watched this, so I won't answer.
Yes. No cheating. Jack, what do
I
you
vote,
think?
I vote B, 2.5.
Okay. So we got Douglas voting B. Baboton says D. All right.
I have an
Kilometers.
answer.
Yes.
My answer is E. Nathan Oakley's throat.
Ooh. That's deep, and there's no stops along the way.
That's not that.
It was C. 4 kilometers. Yes. Good job, Dad.
Undefeated in trivia.
Deep.
How deep is the deepest hole ever drilled into the Earth?
And now
Is it
this
A,
is
12 kilometers,
It gets too hot.
B, 18 kilometers, C, 22 kilometers, or D, 28 kilometers?
I'm gonna go with 12.
It's
A.
12 kilometers.
Yep.
Were you close?
Nope.
The
Right on the money.
distance to the center of the Earth is about 6,400 kilometers. So the
Okay. Now let's see if we can do the math here. 12 divided into 6,400. Here, let me get out the calculator.
What do
I don't
you
wanna have
think
to
you're
do
doing
this by
with that
hand.
math?
The way I explain it is that it gets getting hot because of the Joule's heating.
Yeah.
When you add more and more resistance, like you get deeper in the earth, there's more dense material like granite, dense.
Granite.
Unfornicated. Do you speak Flurf? Unfornicated?
Only when I have.
What is Jules heating? What on earth is Jules heating?
Jules
no,
was
these
the
guys
hot
are-
girl I dated in elementary school.
Sounds hot. He's saying
Okay.
that it gets hotter because of you get denser materials down below. But dude, marble is on the surface. It's not like.
Are they
it's not-
are they denying that lava comes out of volcanoes and there's active active volcanoes even today?
Jack,
I
on
have
that
no
topic,
idea.
let me share one thing. There was a guy, a Flurf, on Twitter who openly said that lava is a biological fluid of Earth. Apply that
Ooh,
as
Earth-
you will.
Earth's blood. Love it.
You could say that, or because there's an eruption, you could say it might be another different bodily fluid. Take your pick, really.
Did he have a
Right.
feather to point at it with?
This heavy rock, it adds more resistance and it creates higher temperatures.
That means
All
nothing.
right, so I'm gonna give you an answer. That's only 0.001875. That we barely have scratched the surface of the Earth. Okay, so how do you,
Patchbone Brown says geophysis. Oh my! Thank you. That was hilarious.
how do we determine the big red dot in the middle? Let's see how we get there.
Well, they've only done one hole at that.
No, there's like
they
6
need to do-
total, I think they
Oh,
did
6?
6 different ones. Yeah, they're all over.
They're supposed to be drilling one in Antarctica too.
Yeah, good luck with
I don't
that.
know if you heard maybe that one the Russians are doing.
Well, good luck with it too. I mean, we
So
haven't
when
really
we
developed
have
any new technology that's going to.
tens of thousands of pictures of something, they're fake. And when we have one of something, it's real, but we only have one.
Yes.
Like there's no winning with these people.
Never. No, you have no idea. The denialism on this.
What's the problem with drilling in Antarctica, except for the fact that, it has the highest mean, elevation of all the continents? How far do you think you're going to fucking get before you actually hit the crust, much less to the mantle?
Because isn't it like several miles thick?
Yep.
Of ice, yeah. And then there's the ground. But the only drilling they do in Antarctica is for ice cores. They don't drill mines or shafts for anything like this.
You said shaft.
Inquisitive Infidel for $2 says geothermal power is imaginary to them. And Basil for $5. What is the contrafactual history where grifters do not try to rebut flat earthers? Do you think we'd be better off? That's a good question, dude. I don't know. I think that leaving some of this stuff unchecked just lets it fester. And I think it could create potentially more problems. Let's imagine no one ever covered flat Earth, and YouTube just let it run, and the algorithm does its thing. So if you have a little bit of a conspiratorial mind, it starts pulling you down this rabbit hole, and then it starts connecting to the other conspiracy derpitude like Dan was covering today, the Ashton Forbes guy, the guys of the pseudo-archaeology nonsense, and so on. So now you have the bottom 1% of the population just informed by people that have no fucking clue. And then
I have a question for Basil, though.
Yeah, go.
Does he consider all debunkers to be grifters?
Yeah, I'm a little confused by this question. Contrafactual history. Is he posing like a question of? I'm not even sure what he's asking. Can you explain, Max? Since you seem to grasp it immediately.
What would happen if we just left and then asked how is that different than the current situation? Well,
Basil, why are you here?
Not myself, but there are people that have been saved from the cult of flat Earth, and I think that's good. Every time that someone is about to fall on the rabbit hole or was on the rabbit hole and we managed to pull them out collectively, I think that's a win. But I mean, it's a fair point of view, I think.
I think also flat earthers, flurfism, whatever you want to call it, it's like a gateway to conspiracy theories in a way too. So, I mean, once you go down this rabbit hole, pretty soon you're talking about Auschwitz is fake and there never was, the Holocaust. I mean, 9/11, all that other crap that goes with it.
Well, and the funny thing is I think flat Earth is an odd thing because it's also a gateway, but also bottom of the barrel. So it's almost full circle. You get in at flat Earth, and you believe every conspiracy, no matter what, whether or not you know it, you will believe it, and then it becomes the bottom of the barrel at the same time. So it's just like a snake eating its tail at this point.
And flat Earth is innocuous. We can most certainly agree that it's innocuous. But then, Holocaust denial, that's pretty evil. Vaccine denial, that's also pretty evil. And then you have people that start with everything is fake. The Charlie Kirk murder was fake. Elvis didn't die, and no one ever dies. They just get sent off to the lands beyond the flat Earth. It's a breeding ground for mind viruses, I would say.
But if they would stay in their basements and just believe flat, but they go on, you got Dearth trying to go to a public school, for God's sake. and you've got these other people, and selling apps. It's not harmless. The minute you think this is harmless, then you're missing the bigger picture, that it's a slow decay of, look where we are with science already, and you could partly blame flat Earth for that.
Mm. And then it goes, like, when it starts getting serious, it gets like beyond defunding for the sciences. And then we also have creationists, and dude, there's a lot to be concerned about. Oh, why are we losing people? Damn. Inquisitive Infidel for $5 says, remember Interstellar, where they teach the moon landings didn't happen, putting limits on the possibilities that humans can understand and achieve. Yeah, that's though, and defunding the sciences because they don't fit a theological agenda and so on. Amender says, damn, that's a lot of watchers. How do I get on your level? I don't know. No, I don't know. It happens.
But you've only got to go over and look at one of Solve's streams, and there is no depth of stupidity that Solve doesn't believe.
Yes.
All the conspiracies you rattled off, he believes, and more. And fast food is people.
Oh my God, really?
He's made that claim several times. Because have you seen any new cemeteries lately? And what do you think they do with all the dead bodies of all the people that die every day?
And remember, rose quartz is dead giants. Himalayan sea salt, because it's pink, are dead giants. He believes all this shit.
Damn, that I didn't know. I haven't watched Solve in a long. I find him extremely boring.
They get us any deeper than what they have. Notice how they bring this up when they're bringing up S waves and P waves too. Like, this is how deep we've been. Let's see what else they got.
Basil says, you guys are better promoters of flat Earth. Do you think that we're promoters? I don't think that we're promoters. Like, we laugh at them. I debate them. And
but wait,
P waves
and S waves, though, they're just waveforms. They're not specific to sounding like the Earth or anything like that, right? They're just waveforms.
Oh no, hold on to your hat, because that's what we get into a little bit of that. Inquisitive Infidel for $2. False beliefs lead to harmful action and wasted lives. Yeah. Now, Basil, it's like, it's fair, but then what happens if we just leave? If we just leave it, let's say I switch off I turn off the light. We never speak about flat Earth, but then do I also do that? I don't debate creationists. I don't debate we don't debate anything, right? I just sit here and make jokes and do something else other than what we do right now. Do you think that is conducive to a better situation overall?
That statement's bullshit anyway. People say that when they have nothing else to say. Like, you're helping that's always the end of anybody's argument that can't give an intuitive intellectual argument.
No, I think it's a valid criticism. I just don't know what the alternative would be. Like, that was.
It's a valid criticism, but we are not promoting flat Earth more by talking about it.
Right. That's okay. Hold on. Basil for $5. You're not debunkers. You're grifting for viewers who think it's funny to dunk on flat earthers. Wait, but can't we can do both, right?
Yeah, we can do both.
We can do both.
We have the bandwidth.
So anyone who has a monetized channel is a grifter, I guess. And people who support that channel, support the work that goes into that channel, and they want to donate, still makes us grifters. I don't understand that, because last I checked, I don't dunk on just flat earthers. I dunk on, like today was Asshat Forbes, and before that was something else. It's to say that it was just debunking flat Earth or dunking on flat Earth for cash, I think is disingenuous, to say the least.
Well, and also, if Max is a grifter, Basil, you're supporting him. You're the problem, not him. If he were a grifter with no supporters, no void. You're the one that's donating.
But I changed categories because Basil was of the idea that FTFE is a grifter. And Basil told me that I was not. But now I change categories, and that's fine. What I don't understand is how am I a grifter when Like I do here, I do whatever I feel like doing that day. And if people send super chat, that's awesome. If they don't, that's awesome too. I'll still do the show and have the same energy, the same everything. I don't use the goals. I don't beg for money. I don't ask
Right.
for money. If people send it, that's great, and I love that. And if people don't, I'm still happy. Dude, this is mostly for
You and I
me.
are very similar in that, and like I'm happy that people are just here to listen to me and to provide input and stuff like that. Basil has donated more in your stream than I made my entire stream.
Grifter is the wrong term anyway. Grifting, if you look up the term, implies dishonesty or fraud, which would imply that Max doesn't believe what he's saying, and he's saying it simply to raise money. So if you want to call him something, figure out the right term. It's not grifter.
Right. Because I do believe.
Excellent point.
I do stand by everything that I do here. Let's make fun of Will Duffy, a young Earth creationist.
I would.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I am holding right now. You're 100% correct. We will make a lot of fun of Will Duffy if after he ends the series that he's doing with Gutsy Gibbon, if he doesn't change, I promise you 1 full week of making fun of Will Duffy. Is that good with you? Is that deal?
But why does it have to be black and white? No, that's not how the world is, right?
Shake my hand virtually, Basil. I promise you, we will do 1 full week, 7 days, uninterrupted making fun of Will Duffy. Just that. Fair?
So Basil, do you turn against or hate or just not talk to anybody that has even one thing that you disagree with? Because you're sort of saying like everything has to be this or that. Clearly, that can't be how you go through life.
All right.
This isn't long at all.
This hole is only about 0.2% of the way in. So how do we know so much about the structure of the Earth, since we have quite literally only scratched the surface?
Roger figured that out on his own.
You may have seen cutaway diagrams of the Earth like this.
Always see tons of
How
those.
do we know so much about somewhere we haven't yet been able to explore? We need to use something that will penetrate deep into the Earth and return information back to the surface. The Earth's surface is broken up into several tectonic plates.
Oh, it is.
In very slow motion.
He's like, oh, it is. Is this the first time he's hearing about tectonic plates?
Yeah,
it's so good. The less they know about something, the more they just immediately deny it.
Right?
He's about 60 years too late.
Now, I heard that there is this eminence in the world of flat Earth called Matthew Hakim that, in a debate with PhD Tony, no less, debunked plate tectonics. Matthew Hakim, who lives in California, land of the earthquakes.
Yeah, I grew up in California. That's not. Yeah, we had earthquake drills in school, as in elementary school, all the time.
I grew up in California. I lived in the same town he lives in, Fullerton. You can drive an hour and actually see the San Andreas Fault in the mountains.
Right?
Yeah, you can find it all over the place.
We have PhD Tony. Hey, Tony, the link is there. Would you want to come out and suffer and explain? Because I remember from your debates, this is one of the evidence that you have for the Earth being a globe is the propagation of
SMP waves.
SMP waves. Yes, thank you, Dan.
Right. Yeah, because there's a shadow zone and everything. I mean, I'm growing up in California. One of the things that I became interested in was the earth sciences was about earthquakes because it was very prevalent. So I went and saw a seismometer. I went to Cal Poly and saw how they were able to triangulate the where the epicenter is and all these other things, because I lived on the San Andreas Fault. I was like, this is interesting to me. And anybody can do that except for people like Roger.
In junior high school, we actually toured a city where you could see the line where the curbs and some of the older buildings had shifted like 9 or 10 inches. And you're standing there looking at a half or a quarter mile line of stuff that moved. There's no other explanation than the ground moved.
Right.
Well, but so you guys have seen that video, right?
Which one?
There's a video of a security camera that's on one side of a fault, and you can
Oh yes,
basically
I know what you're
see.
talking
Yes.
about.
That was Hawaii, wasn't it?
I'm not sure it was Hawaii. I don't think so, but
There's a
no,
bunch
it
of them.
could be.
There was one in
I
Italy
can't remember
too.
the details.
I'll pull it up in just a moment. I'll find it. Give me 1 second. How you doing, Tony? So here we have Roger Unwell, who doesn't understand anything, talking about about your area of expertise.
Hey Tony, how long did it take you on Saturday to recover from that Friday conversation about predicting solar? Why can't I think of the word? Eclipses with that guy that
Solar
just would not
eclipses.
understand.
Well, I've been having headaches for the past week or so, and it's and they got, yes, this is the video. They got a lot worse after that. Let me say.
Yeah, I've seen this one. This is a good one.
Like, look at that! It just everything moves. Like, it's
And
amazing.
the crack. I don't have a way to show it in like slow motion, but pay attention to like the concrete and the fence in regards to the background here on the right.
And imagine the forces at play here.
Look, like it's like the house moves, like it's on a little tram, and it just moves. It's amazing.
That's just a sudden shift.
Basil for $5. Maybe Duffy had a revelation like everyone's hero, Jaren.
He brings up Duffy a lot. You got a hard on for Duffy, Basil.
But
well,
I think
to be fair, so do I. I had a conversation. I tried to teach Will Duffy about geochronology, and Will Duffy was obstructionist. He wouldn't shut up long enough to listen to anything, and he claimed that it was not his area of expertise. But he was constantly spouting young Earth talking points. So he's clear, and then saying, "Well, I don't have time to research it." Well, you
right, but you can differentiate between
time. Apparently, you have plenty of fucking time to look into young Earth creation sites and cherry pick your fucking counter arguments. How about you pick up a fucking textbook?
Right.
So yes, I have an antipathy for Will Duffy. And I think the Basel Problems criticism of him is well justified.
It's only justified if he's not trying to change his opinion, and he has gone further than he doesn't deny that he might be wrong, and he has taken hours of time to do what none of the flat earthers will do.
He has, but I don't think that that's true. I think that there are plenty of flat earthers who have had hours of debate with globe earthers and still not changed their mind. So I'm withholding judgment on the. So, in my opinion, Will Duffy has stored up a lot of reasons for doubt. He may change his mind. He may be like Jaren, as people have pointed out in the chat. That may
I'm not
be
talking
true.
about debate, though. He has sat with who's the person that he's going through those?
Erica, Gutsy Gibbon.
Yeah, that's not debate.
Well, it is. He comes up every time with his science denial talking points and presents them. And I have seen him recycle them. So he's had talking points that have been argued down, and I have seen him bring them up again. And I know he's bringing up points that I have shown him have been wrong. So he whether or not he's going to end up learning stuff, that's an open question.
Well, I personally think he's the most open-minded person with a viewpoint that's opposite, like what I believe. Of all the people that I've heard that have something, that he's the only one I've ever heard that literally tries to consider the other points and is not so cocky and arrogant that he, these other people that you're talking about, there's a complete difference in how they deny everything.
Then you haven't talked to Will Duffy, for instance, about abortion rights or about whether or not God exists.
Oh. Well, remember, he's religious. You're getting into areas now that are.
Had these.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. Is there a lag here? Because when I start talking, I start getting talked over. I am prepared to concede the very real possibility that he is genuinely going to learn something. That remains an open possibility. But until I see it, I remain skeptical of it. Now, Erica is much closer to this process. She's the one who's actually instructing him. And she is very positive about his responsiveness, and so I'm going to give her opinion quite a deal of weight. But until I get to the end point, I'm still and even if he does accept the age of the Earth and evolution, it still remains the case that he's an abortion right absolutist who has doxed and persecuted, or his organization has doxed and persecuted abortion rights workers. And he is unapologetic about the persecution that he has subjected them to. So Will Duffy holds ideological positions and acts on those ideologies in ways that are transparently antisocial. And whatever his approach, whatever degree of intellectual honesty he shows regarding evolution or the age of the Earth, does not change that.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. Basil for $5 said to PhD Tony what you were saying before plus, and then Basil also said for $5. Let's not forget that Will Duffy is a polar explorer. Yeah, that was a little bit wearing a little bit too big for his riches on that one.
You guys are being really a little too hard on the guy. I don't think without him being here to defend himself, frankly, Will Duffy has done more against Flat Earth than anybody in this room. I think you're being a little harsh on the poor guy who has a religious background, and you have to consider that with his worldview. You have to.
I do consider it, but I don't. That's not a justification. So and you're.
I'm trying to get out of this.
I'm having this sort of. I'd like to actually return to the seismology element of this exchange, and I keep on saying I've had conversations with Will Duffy. I know I have experience. I have sort of testimony from people who have suffered at Will Duffy's hands. There is more to Will Duffy than just the flat Earth stuff. And saying that he did something. This is like if we're going to step back. This is like the assassination of Ali Khamenei, right? Nobody can say that the death of Ali Khamenei isn't a good thing, but it's the means by which it's done and the context in which it's done. Is the US now normalizing state-sponsored assassinations of national leaders? Is that the new world order we're in? Whether or not what Will Duffy did was a good thing in attacking Flat Earth, whether or not Will Duffy is indeed open to new scientific information, that is very different from his broader moral context, and that's a conversation for another day.
Yes, please. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm just trying to have a good time on a Sunday night, bro.
Duffy remains a low threat compared to many. If anything, Erica is using him as a sounding board for a thorough debunking of young Earth creationism. And Basil for $5, thank you so much. Will Duffy funded the final experiment because he wanted to rationalize the argument that the Bible does not claim flat Earth, even though it does. And yeah, we did a stream with FTFE talking with Kip Davis, Bible scholar and specialist in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and we covered that topic and whether you accept it as literal or not, depending on your views on the religion. The text says what it says, but I want to go back to this. So let's see what Roger has to say here.
Earthquakes occur usually at the boundaries of these plates as they move against each other. Watch our video on plate tectonics.
Yeah, we are.
Earthquakes create shock waves like a bell ringing, known as seismic waves, and these travel both deep into the Earth and around its surface.
I have a comment.
Two types of seismic waves are made, and each is quite different.
Okay.
I could also say that the telluric currents, like there's frequencies in the Earth, they're really low frequencies.
The what?
Like low.
Telluric. What the fuck is a telluric current?
So these are electromagnetic currents. So these are currents that are induced inside the Earth.
Okay.
So by for instance, by the sun's changing magnetic field, the sun's magnetic field rotates relative to the Earth, and that induces currents inside the Earth.
Okay. Okay. But he's saying that is what produces the waves.
Hertz.
He's
I
absolutely
could also
wrong.
say that the telluric currents, like there's frequencies in the Earth, they're really low frequencies, like low hertz, like 3 hertz or whatever, 25 hertz. But I could say that these different regions are resonating, where they resonate and create like these earthquakes through resonance.
No,
That's that kind of thing.
you can't say that because there's no correlation between magnetotelluric currents and earthquakes. Also, if that were the case, there's no particular region why they would be localized
Right.
To particular regions. So
Uruguay has no earthquakes because we're like smack dab in the middle of a plate. The plate, the border of the plate is on near Chile, and that's why we have the Andes that starts all the way in the bottom of South America and continues all the way up to Alaska. That's why we have that gigantic mountain range over on that side, because that's where the plates meet, right?
mhm.
You got to think about all the motions that are going on with the
Thinks
oceans.
everything is electrical.
I'm sorry?
Connolly thinks everything is electrical, and he also thinks that these telluric currents are responsible for the heating inside the Earth via the resistance that you spoke about earlier.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
well, that's physically impossible.
Yeah. It's
To everything to us on the Earth and everything else here, it's going to cause some kind of a fracture in the hardened stone. The older it is, probably.
Okay.
These guys think that the whole Earth is like a solid stone below our feet, right? That's weird.
Yeah. I encourage him to demonstrate his claim in a laboratory. Can he generate a fracture of rock under high pressure using only low frequency electrical fields? And I guarantee that he won't be able to.
This is the same thing with
it's
like HARP causing earthquakes and stuff like that I'm going over, and that's in my wheelhouse. But Tony, to your point, it's like Chris can't even spell the word laboratory to begin with, and the other problem is that this is the same guy who claims to be a fire control specialist and says that artillery in the Army that he supposedly was trained in does not correct for Earth's rotation and curvature in their firing solution, which someone walked me through a firing table and showed me how it actually is. So take that into consideration when you're talking about the morons that you're. I mean, this is a kid's video, and they're going to fuck it up beyond belief.
Oh my! Yes.
It's not completely unmalleable. Well, I was going to say unmalleable, but it's going to give way at some point.
Yeah. When two frequencies go in phase together, that's when they resonate and they amplify. And
sound frequencies and light. That's when they cause interference. But I don't think electricity does that, does it?
No, not really. So this is going off into science woo-woo, where they're just talking about frequencies independent of context. The very concept of frequency, the frequency of what? There is a frequency.
They think it's just all the same. Frequency just means all. Like, that's weird. Diver Dan says to you, Dan, got the boss's yacht watching this wash despite bucketing down rain. The only negative, I had to drive to and through Miami Airport to pick him up from his return flight.
Traffic in the rain in Miami is like traffic in LA when it rains. It just sucks, pure and simple. And that's just two Navy guys talking shit.
That's what I'm saying. But like a subwoofer, subwoofers are like really low hertz, like below 25 hertz.
No, dumbass. We don't hear 25 hertz. A subwoofer, a commercial one, the ones that I have, JBL Pro 305 MK2, the lowest frequency they will reproduce is 40 hertz. Because that's the lowest the human ear can listen to. Even if you had a subwoofer that played lower than that, you wouldn't hear it. Dumbasses.
or whatever, it'll shake your house. It'd be car downtown, shake your house miles away.
Yeah, didn't Tesla do an earthquake machine he made? Didn't he make one, supposedly?
Yeah.
It just pounded
it could take down
same. Yeah, it took down a bridge. Yeah. So, I mean, so any motion or any impact on the Earth is going to resonate, and the denser the rock or the medium it's in, the more damage it could cause, the more brittle it is. Now, let's see what they say about their theory.
P waves. These waves travel the fastest and are called primary waves or pressure waves, as they arrive at a distant location first. These waves compress and stretch the rocks as they spread out. P waves pass easily through both solids like rock and liquids like magma. S waves. These slower waves arrive after the P waves, and so are called secondary waves or shear waves. S waves cause an up and down motion. They travel through solid, but not liquid. Earthquakes are daily natural events monitored by seismic detector stations across the globe, which all build up a picture of how the waves travel through the Earth. This is one way of displaying the seismic waves as detected by a seismometer. Notice how the P waves arrives first. And here comes the S wave. It was found that not all of the waves started by an earthquake arrived at the seismic detectors on the other side of the Earth. P waves are detected over most, not all, of the surface of the Earth. The curved paths are caused by refraction of the P waves as they pass through rocks of different densities. Remember, P waves travel through both solid and liquid. The core dramatically alters the path of the waves as they approach or pass through it, which suggests a significant change in density from a solid into a liquid state, magma. This is how we explain the so-called.
I remember on your on the presentation that I saw you do during a debate, Tony, that if you have a bunch of earthquake maps and how it makes the node and the antipode of the earthquake, if you map it on a flat Earth, nothing makes sense. But if you map it on a globe, it matches exactly.
Yeah.
Well, in like those shadow zones, you'd have you wouldn't see like the seismic waves, being reported. So how do you like sit there and say that the epicenter is here, these stations see it, there's this big gap if the Earth is flat, and then other stations feel are registering it? How do you manage that gap in the shadow zone on a flat Earth? You don't.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And you can also see here that sort of the waves are taking shortcuts, right? If you sort of flatten that surface out, it should take a lot longer for those waves to actually get there. You can see if you look at the arrival times of the P waves or the S waves, they get faster and faster as you move further and further away from they seem to arrive. It's not a straight line. If for instance it was just ripples spreading out, the velocity would be the velocity would be constant. They'd be on a straight line. Right. The amount of time it takes for the wave to arrive. But instead, you see that the arrival times curve downwards, and that's because the waves are taking a shortcut. They're going through the sphere. So there's nothing about this that makes any sense in a flat Earth formulation.
Right.
P wave shadow, and so begin to understand the structure of our Earth. S waves have a much larger shadow zone, suggesting there is a liquid iron structure deep in the Earth they cannot travel through. Calculations can then be done to deduce the relative sizes of the layers hidden deep inside the Earth and suggest if they are liquid or solid. In conclusion,
there's liquids and solids underneath us. All right, we got it. Like water, oil, several other different substances. I wouldn't go, hey, it's all molten iron at the center. Probably the lower you get, there's probably waters below, something like that.
Oh my fucking God.
It's because you're not trained, Roger, because you're a fucking moron who sits there and thinks that the only liquids are water and oil.
Sort of the scale on which the liquid has to work in order to provide shadow zones of the required size is much, much larger than the geometry of aquifers or the geometry of oil deposits. And he doesn't really understand how aquifers or oil deposits work. The reservoir geometry is very different from what he's imagining.
Right.
He doesn't think
And
it's a reservoir or an aquifer. He thinks it's the waters below from the Bible.
yes, that's what he thinks, because that's what he says. And sometimes they latch on every once in a while the headline that there's massive oceans beneath the ground, that and it's like, oh, you see the waters below. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, no.
We found dense saline pockets of water underneath the ocean still.
I told you.
That would be more of a logical jump instead of, hey, we got a molten iron core. Yeah.
Well, the fact. Okay, so the molten iron core is actually the reason that we know it's molten iron has to do with the density of it, which comes actually from gravitational analysis. The gravity wave, the body waves, gravitational analysis of the body waves allows us to demonstrate the density. Also, you need to construct a density profile, and density and the P wave velocity and the S wave velocity are related to density using fairly simple formulae that are pretty good. So we can reconstruct density if we know the P wave and S wave velocities. So and we know those from looking at the travel times of the waves. So we can look at the density of the various layers within the Earth, and we can show that it is emphatically not possible that this is due to water or oil.
Yeah, and there are seismographers all over the world, and all the data is pretty much shared with everyone because it's important, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, these dumbasses.
Those
Specs
simple
been a
things-
member for 8 months. That's 3/4 around the sun. He doesn't understand. That's all you gotta say.
Ooh, you almost have a Yerba Mate Talks baby coming up.
Oh my, yes.
Get that child support ready. Don't
I'm
be
not
like Witsit.
responsible.
Don't be like Witsit. Don't be a deadbeat. Don't be a deadbeat.
I don't know who on their right mind would ever fuck with me on the background. But if you did, I'm not responsible for that. Just FYI.
Goes across the linear plane, by the way, too.
S and P waves led us to the knowledge that the Earth has a layered structure with a solid inner core surrounded by an outer liquid core.
This is like
they
5th
didn't really
grade
get to
video.
it.
Yes, I mean, this is a channel of like accessible science for young teens. I wouldn't say kids, but teenagers, and they're baffled by it. That is just amazing.
They didn't say how.
And it's important also to notice that P waves and S waves are not these theoretical things. These are things that we can use and we can generate and manipulate in the laboratory. And indeed, we use these waves and Rayleigh waves, those surface waves that they were talking about, to acoustically investigate the integrity of aircraft components is one example, but also building structures is another. The same technology essentially is used in ultrasound. So this is something that on a laboratory level, in very controlled circumstances, the existence of S waves, P waves, and Rayleigh waves is firmly testable and attributable using the most rigorous scientific methods available. The fact that these waves travel through the Earth, that's an added bonus.
Right. And for example, if you take a look at the practical world, the Japanese build earthquake-resistant buildings, and you have to test those.
Yeah,
so
LA
you
too.
have to like stress test them in a model, and then they have to withstand reality, because earthquakes in Japan are a pretty big deal.
Tony, I'd like you to consider for a moment that as I channel CC, you thought to consider that it could be all bullshit.
I was admiring your hair. Yes, it's a great point. Well made.
I'm actually growing my hair out because I'm going to dye it white, and I want to do a full on CC impersonation. I'm getting close.
Oh my. I wonder what Sam thinks of all of this.
And this is the connection is still connected. Still connected to the ground. The thing turns like a like.
Thank you, Sam. That was lovely.
They determined whether it was liquid iron core or solid iron core. Either way. So they're trying to reify the model. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, because Curie temperatures diminish magnetic fields. So they say the inner core is liquid, but the
maybe if you didn't strawman the claim, because the claim is not that it's a fixed ferromagnet. It's because it's a geodynamo. Because the core is spinning.
Also, just fundamentally wrong. The inner core is not liquid. The inner core is at least semi-solid. It's the outer core that's liquid. And yes, you're quite right. It's a magnetohydrodynamic dynamo that generates Earth's magnetic field. It's nothing to do with the Curie temperature or some sort of incipient magnet.
The funny thing is that the Curie point of metal, that is, they just take that as like, oh yeah, that's correct. But then this part that they don't like is like, oh no, that other thing, we disregard that.
Roger has covered the Maryland University experiment with the ball of sodium creating. Yeah. Roger's covered that several times. He knows that's how it works, and they just completely natter.
Okay, well, I was on a. You guys amaze me with your ability to watch flat Earth content. I cannot. I just cannot, unless it's being interrupted and argued against. I can't watch flat Earth content. It's just bad for my blood pressure. But yeah, we can practically demonstrate the concepts, the underlying concepts behind this, and we can show that you can generate a magnetic field doing this. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Roger's taken the Veritasium video that's now 8 years old, where it's like the start of the Maryland experiment, and says, see, it doesn't show anything. And I argued with Roger the other night, and I said, look, that video is 8 years old. Do you think they've just sat round with their thumb up their arse doing bugger all for 8 years?
Arnold for $5 says, I could Google it, but this is more fun. Can someone please explain P waves and S wave for dummies? Tony, take it away.
Sure. So a shear wave, imagine you're holding a piece of rope and you shake it backwards and forwards, right? And you'll see the wave going. That's a shear wave. Okay. Now imagine that you've got a bunch of, imagine that you've got cars sitting on cars and you hit the top car and it sort of pushes down and then the suspension pushes it back up. That's a P wave. So each spring in part pushes the bit in front of it and then recoils elastically. So a pressure wave is like a push wave. You push and then you relax into your, and so that's a faster process. Another way of thinking of a pressure wave is like in air. Imagine a giant volcanic eruption just pushes the air away from it, and it just keeps on going like that. That's also another form of pressure wave. But I thought
for $5 says, Arnold, it's okay that some things can't be explained for dummies.
Yes, that's right.
That's true.
So I understand an analogy better, and because I want to use this in mind. When you talk about a pressure wave, it's more like it's a pressure wave, like you're using the car, like downwards, and then it goes back to its normal state, versus a shear wave, which actually goes almost like a sine wave. It goes, positive and negative both ways. So because it goes to both is why they're actually slower than P waves, correct?
It's because of shear transmission. Yeah. It's that shear transmission. Yeah. It's because it's that side to side thing. That's what slows them down. Yeah.
Right, because it's not going one way and then back to normal, or it's just normal state. It's going positive one way, negative another way. Like if you're to look at an axis, right? So because it has to travel a second way, by the time it crosses back over, it's now gone twice as far. So it's, in a sense, I know there's math involved, twice as slow.
In a sense, it's just mechanically a slower process.
All right, let's see what else they have.
outer core is what is it? Is it liquid or solid?
Well, there's
But-
liquid around. There's a solid one in the middle. I don't know how that maintains itself, and it changes direction too. According to them, it changes its spin. I don't know why they would go with that. I think it was like last year, mid last year, they announced that the Earth core had changed its direction and its spin. And Neil deGrasse Tyson made the announcement. So, yeah, I don't think this is
I
actual
don't think
physics
that's
or science.
correct.
There's no actual proof.
I don't
Repeat
think
that.
I don't think their understanding of that is correct. I think that
Obvious.
If
You don't
Roger
say.
has said it, it's wrong.
yeah.
Well, they're actually reading just the waves off an earthquake at a latitude, you might say.
Either way, the temperatures are
No, Roger, there are so many seismographs all over the world that they can map where it goes and how it spreads across all the globe until it meets up on the antipode and comes back. Roger, like, you have no fucking clue. It has nothing to do with latitude. They go all over the world. What a dumbass.
way too hot for, because of the Curie temperature.
For magnetism, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what they're saying is the ferrule fluids that come off of it create a small magnet when they cool, and you get these little spindles of ferrule magnetism that come off of it. I don't know how that creates a magnetic field around the Earth. Is it a constant thing? That's what they're saying? Like a machine almost? Yeah. They say it, but they have no evidence for it. They said they had made more discoveries.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You disregard the evidence. I mean, Tony has presented the evidence on MDD to flat earthers live, and it gets disregarded. Dude, this is publicly accessible data. You can access it. You can do your own calculations and stuff. Like, what a dummy.
Discovery guy told me that they've done more work since then. And I try to look at videos, and the only ones I find are like the ones from like 7 years ago. He said that they've done work since then. That it proves even more what they're talking about. So
there's so much that don't make sense. Like, how is this dense granite, floating on liquid? Anything liquid?
Yeah. No, it's not.
I've never seen a rock float on anything like granite.
Oh, my fucking God.
Well, then you haven't.
Pumice
So-
rock floats on water.
Yes, pumice floats on water. Any rock, pretty much any rock, will float on mercury. So the average density of Earth is about 3 grams per cubic centimeter. 3 tons per cubic meter. That's Earth's average density, and it's sort of a piece of granite, for instance, has a density of about 5 grams per cubic centimeter. Sort of if you just, but steel, I think, has something like 10. So it won't sit on the surface, but it will certainly float.
Right? That's what he can tell. How is it
in
possible
molten-
a steel ship to float on water?
Yeah. So it's the point is that it's confined, right? If you fill a very thick rubber balloon with water, and then you can stand on it, right? It's not going to be very gravitationally stable, but you can stand on it. It's exactly the same thing with the core. The core is compressed on all sides. It cannot escape out. It is, the Earth is not hydrostatically ordered per se. So their entire argument is, it ignores a lot of the complexities that are going on here.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen iron float in mercury. Mercury's so dense you can float stuff in it.
Okay.
You ever seen Action Labs do that? He floated.
No, not that I can remember.
Okay, I'll show you the video. He actually floats a full anvil in a tub of mercury. It's kind of cool.
And if it's pulling inward, this
Well, that
gravity.
makes it buoyant. Yeah, yeah, sure. There's something pulling it. It's not the actual. It's not the actual weight of the object itself. The weight is caused by gravity. That's what they claim.
Duh.
Our claim is that the weight of it and its resistance to it, the density part, is what causes it to float. And the viscosity of the medium, like the mercury, how thick it is, causes it to float better. The more weight you can put on it. It's seeking equilibrium on the plane of the Earth. I haven't been to action labs in a long time.
What a dumbass. Do you have any evidence for that, or are you just saying it?
The viscosity of mercury is actually very low. Or not
Yeah.
very low, but it's low comparative to other liquids.
Yeah, so high viscosity means that it takes a long time to flow. So yeah, I don't know. They seem to not really understand what viscosity is.
No.
Channel.
Yeah,
that was described.
Yeah, he's a Globey though.
Yeah, but he puts out a lot of cool.
Yeah, he does a lot of physical experiments.
Veritasium is another guy that's.
Who?
I'm going to
Veritasium
pass
is
out from
another guy
alcohol
that's-
poisoning.
You mean Veritasium, right? You know, the
Jeez.
guy that is for sure a Glober and would laugh at you idiots saying Veritasium puts out great content. Yeah.
He's a Glober, but he'll say a lot of anti-Glober kind of stuff here or there. He gets a lot of criticism in the science community.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know who Veritasium is.
Yeah, we did one of his videos last night. That's what we were doing. He did the one with the simulator that's supposed to mimic the molten iron core.
Okay, yeah, I did watch it back. I fell asleep early last night.
Yeah, I couldn't be bothered with learning. I fell
it
asleep.
was. Yeah, it's like the
It was
way-
boring.
It was boring. Like they were throwing too many facts, so I just fell asleep.
They were doing that science shit I didn't understand. I fell asleep.
Roger, like typing on the laptop that he's streaming is just insane.
That huge sphere they got in the lab and they spin it around. Yeah.
Oh, Basil, if you want to that demonstrated, here, hold on.
Well, yeah, maybe Mike might have something.
There you go.
They haven't got it up to speed yet, or even half to what they want it to be. But he just pours liquid mercury into a tub and he'll float this thing. Watch.
Okay, and
depending on the ratio between the two objects, that's all it counts. Doesn't matter what form, liquid, gas.
you can float an anvil on mercury. Big deal.
There you go.
I got a nice little breeze today. This is perfect weather for this. It's not too hot. Sun's pretty bright. Hi everyone, welcome back to Cody's Lab. So a little while ago, over on the second channel, I posted a video of me trying to float an anvil in mercury. Despite it getting lots of views, it didn't actually work. So I wanted to try again. So I got a much smaller anvil here. Of course, I'm kidding. I got a much bigger tub of mercury. So this ought to get that anvil afloat.
I wouldn't stand like on top of mercury.
He does have rubber boots on. He does have rubber boots on.
I know, yeah, but the mercury fumes are kind of dangerous.
Yeah, even the vapors are kind of dangerous and sort of. I realize that he's got a lot of. He's covered a lot of skin, so there's minimal chance of skin contact. But if he slips or falls or whatever,
I'm just
there are some OH&S problems. I can tell you that my school would have some things to say about this.
Yeah.
So would OSHA and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
This is much easier. You get a little bit more wiggle room. Oh,
he's kind of floating on it himself.
Stand in there too long. It cuts the circulation off to your feet.
Oh god.
Feet are tingly.
That's how dense it is.
There's no mercury sloshing in there, so I know they didn't wait. Let's I got this.
And they're putting this in your vaccines, people.
Wipe off the top.
Motherfucker.
No, they fucking don't.
No, they don't. I've explained this many times. The fact that the adjuvant has one molecular mercury there. That doesn't mean that this is what they put in. Molecular mercury is different than this. And you can very clearly see it that in the case of sodium metal, a metal that you couldn't even eat it because it literally ignites when it contacts water. And then you have chlorine or Cl that is highly toxic. You combine those and you get table salt, very innocuous and actually indispensable to human lives. Don't speak about shit you don't know, dumbass.
Or indeed vertebrate life.
All that oxides and stuff off of there. Oh, isn't that pretty?
Looks like water.
Since the rag's wet, it sticks right to it. I don't get all of it, but it's a lot better than it was.
I don't think.
So here's my 110-pound ironworking anvil. I think we got this for making horseshoes and stuff back when we had horses. So let's set it in here and see if it floats.
You'll see.
Okay. It doesn't seem to want to stay upright. I'll just let it tip over. There it is. It's floating. Look at that. The iron anvil floats because mercury has a density nearly twice that of iron. In fact, due to the density ratios, the iron actually floats better than wood does in water.
Push under.
Let's push down.
Basil for $5 says, kudos to those that spend their time recording idiot Discord channel streams, the heroes we don't deserve. Oh man, you're spicy today, Basil. You came back with a bang, like, oh boy. But dude, I mean, we have fun and different people have fun. People have fun jumping off helicopters. People have fun going skiing. People have fun going out running.
Climbing
people have
cliffs.
fun climbing cliffs and throwing discs and playing golf and playing fucking curling. Yeah.
Basil has fun throwing money at you.
Yeah.
Those curling have a mental problem. I will say that. I can't get behind curling. I'm sorry.
Yeah, people have fun playing cards, right?
I want to see an Aussie team in the curling is what I want to see. Because I saw an Aussie team in bobsled.
A Jamaican team in curling. Like, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
they have a sledding.
winter sports aren't necessarily our strong suit. We don't have immense snowfields or.
Eric says curling is ice bowling. I see it more as ice bocce.
No, it's ice shuffleboard.
Also, yeah. But all of those are
People
kind
on a
of
cruise ship
quite
throwing it
similar.
across ice. That's how I look at it.
Yep.
Oh, it's hard to push down.
There you go.
Oh, that's great. Here, let's try it again from the other side.
Yeah, this is I thought it was actually Lab that did it, but it's Cody's lab.
Here we go. Push down. It bobs up like a cork. Okay, let's I want to try hitting it with a hammer. I think it dulls the sound quite a bit. Here, let's pull it up out of here.
He's not holding it up, man.
Okay. It definitely sounds a lot different. That's actually pretty nice to have your anvil sitting in mercury while you're working to deaden that sound. That way it doesn't hurt your ears as much.
Hold on. I'm going to move on to the next part of this.
Is Roger think that this is like the new video he needs to show for West for RDB without any commentary for 5 minutes?
Yeah. They're baffled. Like, okay. So here they come to another very derpy topic.
Because they actually have to add a magnetic field to this sphere to get it to work. Video. Huh.
Okay. Okay.
The show's yours now. Go for it.
It's a 15-minute video. But okay.
When an isolated container is filled with a uniform layer of fog and then given sufficient enough voltage, something fascinating happens.
I really hope this is showing up on camera.
Like,
it was okay. I didn't realize
interesting little effect is something I just. What's that?
I didn't realize. I thought that you were showing dry ice. I thought that was dry ice. Oh.
And we can hear Roger typing like with his elbows in the middle of the stream, like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay,
Is that Andrew B. talking?
Experimenting later.
No, that's a Scott level realm.
Oh, okay.
Arnold
Another
says,
genius.
I don't watch Netflix. This is my TV. Yeah. Yeah, this is a lot more fun.
Okay. Okay.
On a bit of bean water. I shot a video on the topic, and since then, the exact science behind this phenomena has really haunted me. It's haunted me so much that I knew I had to dig deeper, gather opinions from other professionals, and run simulations, which painted an incredible picture of what's happening. I have to.
He's going to say electrostatics.
Yeah.
He's proving RDD. Now he's going to say electrostatics, even though neither one of them are going to go. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, you
Where's
called
the
it.
rum?
I'm going to spoil it because we don't have much time left. But yes.
Tony, can I
that
pour you a
is
shot?
Oh, this is what generates the downward bias, except that this guy like knows exactly what he's doing.
Yes. Please do, unfornicated.
I don't drink, but pour one for me too.
Oh,
To say there isn't a tremendous amount of scientific literature on the topic. Quite frankly, I found very little. And it may have real-world applications. So this is a deeper dive into one of the strangest phenomenons I've ever seen, high-voltage nebulography.
Phenomena. The plural for phenomenon is phenomena.
Roger, have you seen anything like
that? Physics opens an entire sandbox of
I didn't get to the explanation where he goes into
beautiful phenomenon. It's why I've created an entire channel around it. I've shot videos on electrostatic firebending, water bending, electrostatic levitation, self-healing fractal patterns, pulling energy out
Oh, that one, if you haven't seen that one,
water bending, electrostatic levitation, self-healing.
if you haven't seen that one is so cool. That one is freaking epic.
But did you notice how
fractal
they
patterns.
walked right past the bendy water one? They completely flagged the bendy water one. And, oh, that doesn't exist. We'll run away from that a bit quick.
I know the channel is cool. I just have a linguistic nitpicking habit.
Pulling energy out of the clouds. This one was actually really cool. All these experiments I thought were fascinating. But when I saw this fog phenomenon, it completely broke my brain and left lasting questions. Asking viewers for what their hot take on what the cause was, the explanations ranged from capacitive effects to electron.
Never seen that.
Sorry, it was.
Luckily, this effect is extremely easy to reproduce.
Stop with the music.
The basic setup for this fog effect can be put together within minutes. This includes a large flat container filled with warm water, lots of it actually, a physical separator on one side that has a gap at the end like so, a piece of dry ice, and a low current, high voltage DC power supply.
It's a piece of dry ice. Okay.
Yeah, all that water looks pretty damn level. I hate to tell you, even when you divide it with that glass.
Oh my fucking
But it was
God.
just bending, Roger. It was just bending.
Oh my.
Did you miss that part?
Does he expect that you would have Earth curve in a container that's like this big?
Okay, Roger has a problem with scale. 12 inches versus 6,000 kilometers is a big difference. I think we need to explain that.
But he always heard that size doesn't matter, so he believes that.
Yeah.
And it'll keep being level if you make it 40, 50,000 miles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As you can see, totally harmless. The electrical ground is attached directly to the water and the high voltage positive to your body. The key here is low current, less than a milliamp, which is completely safe.
Basil, for $5, thinking that curling is an Olympic sport is the same as believing in flat Earth. Dude,
I can't argue with that.
So much curling in the Winter Olympics. And the worst part of all is that I started seeing pop up on my feed controversies surrounding the curling matches in the Winter Olympics. And of course, I clicked. Oh, what the fuck was that? That was you? Is that you, Dan?
No.
And of course, I had to click on one. And apparently, there's like cheating and scandals in curling. But I agree.
Why do you blame me?
The Canadian guy with his finger.
That's wild. But I agree with this. I for sure
You
agree.
you may not think that it deserves to be an Olympic sport, but to say that it isn't is, I think, denying reality. I think there are plenty of things that shouldn't be Olympic sports. Anything that requires a judge's aesthetic, subjective opinion shouldn't be an Olympic sport. and sort of there's a lot of people who actually want chess or Go or mind sports to become part of the Olympics, and I don't think that they should. But given, sort of, I think there are a lot of sports that could be cut out of the Olympics.
Yeah. I have a hot take. You know how there's a whole discipline of equestrian sports in the Olympics? I think that the medals should be given to the damn horses and not to the people, because they are the ones doing the fucking work.
They were.
So I got a quick.
Originally, poetry. Did you know that poetry was in the modern Olympics?
What is that?
Okay, that's a hot.
Poetry. Making poems.
Oh, yes, in the ancient Olympics, yes.
No. In when they first revived the modern Olympics, poetry was a discipline.
Oh, okay.
So in 1896, I'm pretty sure they had poetry gold medals.
Wow.
So quick fact about curling, and I'll shut up about curling.
$2. They measure with their eyes, nothing more accurate. Oh yeah.
True.
Go down.
So a quick fact about curling, and then I'll shut up about curling. Do you know the stones only come from two places, an island off Scotland and a quarry in Wales? That's it.
Yes.
Because of the granite and everything else that it is. That is the only place it's made from. So eventually curling is going to run out of stones.
Interesting.
Safe in this application. Now, as for voltage, I found anywhere from 5 to 30 kilovolts works great. Once the dry ice is dropped into the water, the separator allows the CO2 fog to flow throughout the container, forming a uniform sheet. And at this point, the power can be turned on, and the magic starts.
Yeah, look, Roger, that's cool.
They love this because it actually looks like magic. I think that's what triggers their brain. It's like, oh, look, it looks like magic.
If he was holding a Harry Potter wand, it would probably resonate even better with them.
He basically created an electric field.
The trails range from hair thin to somewhat thicker, as seen here, and even really wide, unpredictable bursts. Actually, quite unpredictable. Your finger can draw on the fog from over a foot away. It really is something beautiful. Perhaps the most intriguing of all, though, a flat palm placed just over the fog.
Oh my God! Look at that! It's like
creates a clear vortex.
Oh, yeah. But see, I didn't realize he has his hand on.
As you saw, this setup in essence actually.
Yeah, of course, Scott didn't realize the point of the whole thing. I had to watch it again. Buck, for $5, says, I could fix you on curling if you sent the link to the Woman of Curling calendar.
He's not wrong, because the Italian curling team has been a particular friend of mine at times over the last few weeks.
I bet they're in Roger's playlist.
Oh, for sure.
And I did not cry afterwards.
Actual drawing board and
high voltage. Those are like
he's got his hand on a voltage, like a generator, right?
Yeah, this Windhurst generator.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I didn't realize.
He's got one side attached to his body, and the other side's got right into the water. So
yeah,
that's too.
Yeah, I didn't notice that part, but I mean, obviously, that I've seen plenty of that kind of thing where because you're just transferring energy through your fingertips and stuff,
Yeah.
I thought this was like I thought this was just his bare hand. I'm like, wait, I didn't know that the dry ice did that. You know what I mean? It's still
it's high voltage, low amperage, but high voltage, like 30,000 volts.
So it's high voltage. It's low amp. It's low amp. Yeah.
Low amp, high voltage.
Yeah.
Now, since this involves high voltage and sharp points, or relatively sharp points, 3 options immediately come to mind based off my experience that might help explain what we're seeing. First, ionic wind. Second, electron tunneling. And third, forced condensation/repulsion. Let's start with ionic wind. This is formed when high voltage is applied to a sharp point which ionizes the surrounding air molecules. These ionized air molecules are then attracted to an electrical ground, and in the process, they bump into neutral air molecules pushing air towards the ground. Those collisions are random and not precise, meaning the wind stream produced is a bit turbulent and spreads out over a longer distance. So if this effect was caused by ionic wind alone, as seen in my latest ionic thruster, creating lines like these would be impossible. The part that ionic wind plays in this effect, I'd argue, is mostly at blowing away the fog at closer proximities, as seen right here. Up next, electron tunneling. This is a loose term, and it's more of a beam of ions constrained by an electric field. You see, an ionized pathway in open air doesn't always take the form of a hot channel of plasma, aka a spark. Coronal discharge and dielectric barrier discharges are examples of this. In fact, under the right conditions with strong enough electric
Do you see what he just said there?
a thin
about-
channel
Oh my God, he's going to say something like completely stupid here.
Oh yes, this
are examples of this. In fact, under the right conditions with strong enough electric
Do you see what he just said there?
a thin
about
channel of air can act as an
how he said electrons. Like, he pretty much just said like, well, it's not really electron. What did they say? They call it.
It's more like I call it current myself. That's what I call it. That's
Yeah,
what I
it's
want.
like
And what is current, you dumbass? And he said that it wasn't electrons per se, that it was ionic
electron tunneling.
electron tunneling. Thank you. Sorry, but oh my fucking God, that doesn't mean that he doesn't accept it, dude. He just said ionic winds; those they're generated by electrons, and you had in the little picture, you had the picture of the ions, the positive ions. Holy shit, they're dumb. But because they thought they heard something that they didn't hear, it's like, oh yeah, this guy is saying that electrons don't exist. Dumbasses. Basil says, for $5, Reagan is the epitome of Australian sport. Let us never forget the kangaroo. That was a woman that presented herself, the Australian lady, kind of middle-aged lady that went into a breakdance competition for representing Australia. I watched that competition, and the ladies of breakdance that were up against her, they were like very high level. And then came this woman, and she was just like, she couldn't even do a trick. It was funny as hell.
Well, and there was a conspiracy because she was heading that group and chose herself or whatever.
I'm with Probing Time is a fellow Australian, and I think we just need to say that we've never heard of her.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's fair. Yes, I understand that.
he kind of admitted that like electrons aren't really real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I like how he's like explaining. He's like, well, it's kind of like a terminology, but yet it's not like an actual thing. You know?
No, that's not even close to what he said. Dude, this guy works with electricity. He generates plasmas. He did an ion cannon. Like, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. He didn't say anything remotely close to that.
He'll describe everything like how the Google scientific point of view, but he pushes the boundaries of what is understood in science, like something with this, where he made his own name. He called it nebulography or something, like, because there's little to no information on the internet about it. So he goes like,
oh, I got you, yeah.
No, my fucking cat. Yes, people, one day when you have to formalize, you have to give stuff names, and if you are the one doing the discovering, you get to name stuff.
of plasma, I guess.
He's called, what is it called again? Plasma what?
He calls it nebulography.
No, his show. I'm sorry, his show.
His plasma channel.
Plasma channel. Okay, cool. I'm gonna look this up. It's interesting.
Yeah, put the link in the back so everybody grab it.
Okay.
Ion bridge, allowing electron transfer between two electrodes without heat.
Allowing what? Did he just say? Allowing electron transfer? Oh, I love that they stop that. They say like, oh yeah, this guy secretly says that electrons are not real for him just to debunk him as soon as they hit play. That is just lovely.
Heating up the air molecules or forming a spark. I think that's a huge contributor to this whole fog effect. And to confirm the feasibility of an ion bridge, so to speak, I reached out to my friend Chris, who has experience writing computer programs, running electric field diagnostics, and assisting with nuclear research. I have the older video I shot, maybe like 5 years ago, of this fog effect, right? I never really solved the mystery. And so I wanted to go deeper into it this time and just hopefully get some opinions on it.
So there's a lot of interaction and mathematics that happen here that come into play. But I did do a little bit of a simulation on it as best I could with the time I had.
Okay.
Here's what that looks like. I'm actually going to also slow this one down.
Oh, that's something.
You see your beam there?
There's the beam, and it's a hair-thin beam for the most part.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. And again, I would claim that this was my best estimate.
Basil for $5 says, hashtag Ryan was not involved in Boopgate. Wait, what's Boopgate? Basil, what's Boopgate? Because that doesn't ring a bell. And I'm hearing one of you is feeding back my own voice to me.
My best guess, but it does clearly make a beam. But the most interesting part about this beam is the beam itself is actually not that fast.
Blown away. Okay, so the simulations that Chris ran indicate that the particular setup that I'm using leads to a highly concentrated electric field between my fingertip and the grounded fog layer. Now, this is a huge break.
Canadians cheating in curling. Yes, that's yeah, we talked about that controversy. Okay, got it. I didn't know it was Boopgate. Okay, got it. Who is feeding back to me? Hold on, let me test. It's you, Tony. Can you lower the volume or something? Because I'm hearing myself.
Breakthrough because highly concentrated electric fields, what do? Well, they lead to the ionization of air and a conductive path. So potentially an ion bridge. During the chat, we did some additional digging through publications and found...
I wanted to say that this guy here, he's running a simulation on his computer. So he's putting inputs in and it's creating this visualization. It's not an actual instrument where he's...
Yeah, we have simulation engines with physics and stuff. We can, I mean, we do simulations on black holes. We do simulations on, like we have simulators for architecture. This is not hard.
The funny thing about simulations are when you compare them to real world, chances are they fucking match.
Right? I mean, because there's people that spend many, many years programming the simulation software, and then they use it based on the simulation data. They build stuff. Like, for example, Formula One cars, right? We have simulations for Formula One cars in the building process. And the simulation tells you, okay, this car, when it's built, is going to generate X amount of downforce. And then, lo and behold, you build a car, you put it in a wind tunnel, and the car generates the amount of downforce or very close to it that the simulation said. This is not a contentious issue. Tony, you are probably very intimate with this kind of physics simulations and so on. Is there any problem with this at all?
No, I mean, everybody's making a good point that you do need to ground your simulations in comparisons with reality, and most people do that, and then they can extend the same software to a novel situation with some confidence that in other situations it's produced good outputs. Then you extend it to a novel set of boundary conditions, and you've got no reason to doubt its veracity. You should still check, of course, to see that nothing's gone wrong. But yeah, this is what simulations and models are for. Nobody claims, and this is the old aphorism: all models are wrong, some models are useful. And the idea of simulation is to produce a useful model. But you should always bear in mind it's quite possible that your model is wrong in some way you haven't previously appreciated. So you should always be grounding it against observation where possible.
I can simulate an antenna and waveguide and everything else, and it's based on 100 years of experience and application and everything else. It's grounded in actual application, and therefore I can run the simulation to decide what changes I want to make before having to actually build it and test it. And guess what? If I build something on a simulation that was going to be wrong and tested it, it's going to be within a margin of error, minute margin of error. It's going to be almost exactly what the simulation says, because it's based on 100, to Tony's point, it's based on 100 years of application.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like new shit.
Inquisitive Infidel for $2. Thank you so much. Simulations that don't match don't get reused, or they get tweaked to fix the problem. Yeah, this is not, Roger, this is not a problem. We have gas simulations, liquid simulations, physics simulations, architecture, for building cars, because it's a lot, in today's world, it's a lot cheaper to make a simulation verify its veracity, and then transfer it into the real world, do a lot of hard work in the simulations, and then transfer it into the real world than just doing trial and error in building a car, right? So the fact that they're baffled by this is just amazing.
I run simulations
this is
daily
kind of
in the infrared spectrum for fiber optics, like building a network. And inherently, the simulations that I run when I'm talking about like over distance, I go like over 120 kilometers and stuff like that, based on the parameters I put in regarding an amplifier and the signal strength and all this other stuff and the chromatic dispersion, all the variables we have to consider. I'm within less than a 0.1% as far as error goes. How is that possible then?
Basil asks you, what programming language do you write your simulations in? I don't think he said he writes them. He uses them.
No. It's basically
real people write their simulations in Fortran. God damn it.
No, I write mine in Perl just to piss off Tune.
I like what they say that the what is that telescope, the one they put out in space, right? It just gets information and then they do the same kind of thing. Simulation.
Oh my fucking God, no. The Hubble telescope, you're right. It doesn't get like proper images, like as in pictures. Oh my God, you invoked him. Pearl sucks. Hi, dude.
See, he came in. I called him on that.
Yes. The Hubble is it the Hubble or what's the big one?
James Webb.
Right, the James Webb. They don't get proper images. They get like data, but it's the same thing as you can get, for example, a thermal camera, right? It doesn't get a thermal, like you translate data into something else, but then it correlates to reality. If you see that a thermal camera, you point it at your computer and it says 75 degrees, then you put a thermometer to it, it's 75 degrees. This is not that big of a deal. Again, like, holy cow, these people.
Pretty much, yeah.
On one study which described an effect similar to this, called catastrophe beams. That publication has the world's most epic title, Propagation of Intense Catastrophe Beams in Air. Now, catastrophe beams are specifically structured light rays, which are characterized by an ability to maintain their shape over vast distances, with the effect of causing an ionized air channel, which is self-focusing, not unlike this effect.
Despite them involving light, there are a lot of similarities between catastrophe beams and what we're seeing here. They both involve self-focusing over distance and conduction. So, is the
Roger typing in the chat while we hear him, it sounds so bad on my headphones. I swear, I hate it.
Telegraphic effect related to catastrophe beams? You know what? Jury's still out on that one.
Last up, forced condensation. After a bit of digging, I ran across some literature which partially explains what's going on in the fog layer itself. Several studies tested the effect that high-voltage electrical fields have on fog, with the agreed-upon result being that it is possible to disperse fog by applying a positive corona discharge.
Reading a bit deeper, this is where it gets really interesting. So that positive high-voltage charge causes all the microscopic droplets of water floating around in the fog, aka that's what the fog is.
Hey, Roger,
causes that to condense together into larger droplets and then fall.
Chris is got
yeah.
Oh, Chris. Oh, yeah, cool. You know what it reminds me of is like what do they call those ball lightning? It makes me think of like that. That's kind of like how ball lightning looks when it's kind of traveling. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that he was just kind of moving around the fog. Have you ever seen ball lightning?
I've never seen ball lightning.
Oh, you never saw?
Arnold says, I'm a proficient developer in Clanker. Yes, you damn Clanker lover. But you get a pass. It's okay. It's all good.
Oh, like,
No.
But you ever seen like an actual video of it?
No.
Oh, it's so cool. It's crazy. It's like, it reminds me of, that's what it makes me think of. I don't know why. It just makes me think of like the way that the fog was reacting to the electrical charge from his finger and stuff like that. That's what it makes me think of. Anyway, go ahead, Roger. Or go ahead, Chris. You should look it up.
This happens instantaneously.
All right. We're not going to be able to end this, and we have about 10 minutes left. So let's start doing the wrap-up. Tony, thank you so much for coming and explaining to us the S&P waves and suffering through this with us. Coming up, we got MC Tune, and the redirect is already set up to redirect there. Let's start with you, Dan. You got a massive dose of derp today. I hope you're okay.
Oh, dude, I think I'm ODing, and I had to switch to water. Otherwise, I think I would have died. I will say I love having PhD Tony on the panel because he and I are very similar in the sense that we lack complete patience when people just start saying "nah," and I start losing my shit on live stream. So I can sympathize. Like when we were doing that one on Friday night with astronomy, or what was it? Not what was the one we were doing with?
Yeah, astronomy after the debate with Astronomy Live and Beasticles and
yes.
What's the piezo electric, piezo derp or some shit.
I was
like
sitting
that.
on my hands letting Eric and PhD Tony talk about everything because as far as I'm concerned, the only thing I'm going to add is just angst and everything else. I'm like, let them do it. But if anyone who's watching that stream and knows my body language, they're sitting there like watching me just clutch my fists and trying to just let it pass. But there's many times where I don't do that. And I appreciate that there's somebody like PhD Tony who doesn't make me feel like an outcast by doing that. And I always appreciate his discourse on Discord. And look, I'm a fan of that. But as always, Roger shows without a doubt why he deserves top left. And Toon, if you're still listening, I hate to break it to you, you are not going to defeat Team Ledwell.
Oh my!
It's going to be hard. It's going to be a close one. Every year it's a runaway, not this year.
Yeah, I mean, though it's a very tough competition between.
I should order one of these guys to take with me to Antarctica. What do you think? I can tell where the refraction is and the gravity, all with a little camera and a gauge.
Measuring urine specific gravity. And
maybe Mike might have something.
And don't forget, the semen has to come out somehow.
I don't have that one, but I have this one.
And this is the connection is still connected. Still connected to the ground. The thing turns like
That is, let me just say, Sam, that is an impeccable technique. Just FYI. And Oakley, I mean, I don't know.
The money-grabbing, thieving cunt.
No, that wasn't. I don't know what's the deal with milking imaginary stuff, but yeah, I think Sam's technique is better than Oakley's. Tony, final thoughts.
Yes, well, I'd advise these gentlemen to actually look at these disciplines from the beginning, because the original theory about P waves and S waves and the way they interact in any object, this was all done back in the late 19th century by people Jeffreys, Rayleigh, Love. Augustus Love is one of the primary workers. There's a lot of theory on this. I guarantee these people aren't going to understand it, but all of this analysis was done back in the day, and it started in the laboratory with this sort of thing. So it's not this body of knowledge that is based on unsubstantiated assumptions. It's a very robust discipline. And also, it's a pleasure to be on the same stream as Unfornicated. Is Dan the name that I should be using?
Dan, yes.
Well, it's always a pleasure, and I do feel like I came in and I ranted a lot, and I feel like I owe Max and Astronomy Live in particular an apology for that. It was his stream, and he deserved to actually dominate it more than he did. So when I can, I want to apologize to him face to face.
It was fun to watch. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And
No,
in PhD Tony, it's funny because since I do networking and fiber optic stuff like that, we actually have a connection to Australia. So your underwater cable part of your things. I can actually I got to find it, but there's an SLA for that latency measurement between LA and Australia. And the latency measurement would be 25% more than what the SLA says. And the SLA is actually on the website. I think it's like 174 milliseconds, and it'll actually be over 200 if it was a flat Earth, and it's not. So, and they're really going to be in trouble because 2026, there's going to be, this year, there's supposed to be a Google one between Perth and Africa, and also New Zealand and Chile.
Yeah, I think the Africa one, I can't remember the name of, but the Chile one, is that the Humboldt cable?
Yes.
I think
Yes, I
that's
believe
the
so.
Humboldt cable.
I forgot the
Yeah,
African one. I believe it has an African name. I can never remember it. I always have to look it up.
Yeah, no, I've done some research on these, but yeah, these are coming online very soon. And like they, as you say, you can test the lengths with the latency. It's a very systematic thing, and they just laugh and wave it away.
The amps on the cable don't add to the latency. All
I've
they do is
stolen
try to signal
that
and stuff like that.
argument.
So.
I've stolen that argument from PhD Tony because it's such a cool thing. Toon, the link should be here in the, but I'll
Toon's
paste it
asking for
you.
an hour reprieve because he's having audio issues.
Oh, okay. Wait an hour max. Okay, we can definitely do that.
We can do that.
Basil for $5 said, appreciate PhD Tony's no BS approach. I think we all do. I
still got run left, so I can take shots for you guys, and for the next hour, we're fine. If I pass out and you see me just slump off like Witsit, just don't worry about it. I'll be fine.
I really look up to PhD Tony, and I've learned a lot. I've stolen a bunch of arguments from him, so don't tell him. Don't tell him. Arnold for $2 says, what does Witsit think? And yes, even Witsit would be bored of listening Roger speak.
I think that would be a better question if you left the what off the front. Does Witsit think?
That might be me if we keep going for an hour. I'll just switch to water.
Right?
Well, I'm going to have to run because it's 2 a.m. here, so...
Mike, always putting in the late nights for us. Thank you so much, Mike, for the inspiration to cover this tonight.
I'd like to apologize to Tony, who can now smell toast after watching that.
All right, thank you. Toon, how you doing?
See you later, soon.
I'm good.
How's the vacation? Have you met many Florida men? In the sense of crazy people doing weird stuff on the street.
Well, I met Icy Spin in person. Does that count?
Well, he's the epitome of a Florida man.
All right, and you were saying to keep it going for a little bit, you're having some issues with setting up your stream.
Well, no. So Dion Smo was gonna. He's my sure thing. When I'm on vacation, he's my sure thing. Guess what?
No, he failed.
He did not know what day of the week it was.
Oh boy.
he got confused because, according to him, normally there's 29 days in February, but this year is a leap year.
Oh, so it has 28? Oh no. Oh no.
So when I said March 1st, he thought tomorrow. I'm not kidding. That's
welcome.
Anyway.
The one, the only Mike.
The drug.
Hello.
So anyway, so I'm gonna go on QOP's Discord server, but I pushed it back an hour because I'd just rather hang out with you for a little bit, if you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind at all. We were watching Woger Unwell basically do a 100-meter sprint. Who has that much background noise? Is that you, Mike? Yes, it's you. We were watching Woger Unwell, and I'm sorry for your campaign for Mikey to be top left, but Roger, what a strong... I think he might be the strongest contender ever for top left.
No, he's definitely left, right? He's unskilled, but let me just have this in your mind. How confident is he? Does he declare himself to be the GOAT? because if he declares himself to be the GOAT, then that would be a challenge because that's Tom.
But we were just having a
But if
moment
he's
of
not saying
silence
he's
for
the GOAT,
Flat
if
Earth.
he's out there self-deprecating, that's not Tom.
I can pretend the globe is winning the debate if you guys pay me.
Wait, what? What
It
am I
already is.
hearing?
We don't need to pay anybody.
That sounds like QOp's
right.
Discord.
Oh.
Oh.
How are you doing? Other than
Way to go, Mike.
Tune, route it.
Mike, you're a professional, damn it.
So
yeah, I was
just
hearing
installed
Jesse.
my routing software on my Mac. Yeah, that's Jesse Path of Light. He's but it's muted to me. I don't hear it.
No, it's coming directly to us. But
now you don't.
Yeah,
hear it.
I haven't
You don't
been
hear
back
it anymore, do you?
No, it's fine now. Thank you. I haven't been back on QOp because one day I was there late at night, or actually quite early in the morning, and QOp was just getting killed with one citation after the other, and he got super pissed and basically revoked my posting permits because I was just like one citation after another and another and another, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not having that anymore. Fuck that." And well, here we were. They are baffled by this science, which kind of looks like magic.
I just wanted to talk to say hi to PhD Tony. How's it going, man?
Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Still a big fan.
Despite the fact that I've been more vocal, I have a very sarcastic sense of humor, and it doesn't. A lot of people, when I start watching their streams, I'll lay into them.
As you should. That's why. That's why I like you. I'm sarcastic as shit too, and so is Dan. I mean, come on now.
So Tony, I think you and I should do an MDD stream and watch what happens. I think it would be nuclear.
It would, yeah.
Toon, why don't you give us, before we continue playing this, because we didn't have you for the after show because of course you're on vacation, but some thoughts on the Alan versus astronomy live debate, and I'll be right back. I need to go to the toilet.
Okay, that was fantastic. Alan really destroyed Flat Earth aggressively there, and showed his commitment to not caring about seeking truth and really putting it on display, because he just kept going back around to their celestial theodolite that people have over and over and over told him, you are not doing the prediction for the globe correctly. This is, it's a big complicated thing, all sorts of unnecessary complications to it. And both now it's Jesse and Ruhif and Astronomy Live have all now said in live debates, live streams and stuff to him, you have defined something where there is a set of coordinates that and the heights, distance from the mountain and height of the mountain where globe works, where flat Earth works, where concave Earth works. It doesn't matter at all. The methodology is flawed so much that you can make it say whatever you want just by picking where you are in relation to the mountain. They don't care. They just double down. Oh no, the methodology. Let's not talk about the flaws in the methodology. Let's just say, how come it is that the globe doesn't do it and the flat Earth does? But my bigger complaint is that their flat Earth methodology is 100% globe, except for they didn't adjust for drop. That's it. That's all they've done. They used the distance between the observer and the peak of the mountain using the globe formula. They used the position of the stars in the sky using the globe. So you can't say, oh, the flat Earth model works better than the globe model if your flat Earth model is the globe with one adjustment.
Yeah, it's one of the things that bugs me is they can't explain why there are circular star paths, nor can they explain counter-rotating star paths over a flat plane. Until they do that, this occultation argument doesn't interest me, and I'm I am deeply in awe of Astronomy Live, Ruhif, Jesse Path of Light, that they're willing to treat this concept at all seriously, because until you can explain the mechanics of star paths, I'm not interested. Like it just feels to me like you're quibbling when you cannot actually match the trajectory of the star up to the point where it gets occulted by the mountain.
The thing is that if we were to take that position, we would have to just stand steadfast in like, okay, explain a sunset to me, demonstrate a sunset to me on a flat Earth with a model or anything like that. I think that it is kind of funny to watch them. Like when someone asked him, how do you calculate the distance on flat Earth? And Alan said very confidently, using the Haversine formula. I almost spit my mate through my nose because I was like drinking. And it's like, wait, what? I'm sorry. You're telling me that you use the formula for getting the distance on a sphere to calculate the distance on flat Earth? It's like, okay, pack it up. Thanks for playing. Eric Burns says...
Have you seen... Okay.
Yes, sorry.
No, Eric Burns. He's more important.
You got it. Proposition for you, since we have an extra hour. My students have a test this week. I have the review ready to go. Would you like to run through it on Steam? 30-question review. Yeah. The last one, we were having a lot of fun when we did that. So, yeah. Oh, that sounds more entertaining than watching Derp. We might also learn a few things. Yeah, Eric, that's cool. Love that. And I remember the last time we did trivia on Toon's channel. Freaking Dickless had to ruin it, but fortunately, this is a zone.
It's a flirt-free zone. What was I saying before Eric Burns' thing?
Hang on a minute. I've entered. For some reason, I can't hear anything on StreamYard.
DPT Bunks. DPT Bunks is here.
Yes.
Hey, kids.
Sorry I kept you in the background, DP.
As you should be.
Now
The
all the
intelligence
cool kids are
quotient on
here.
this stream was way too high. I just need to help balance it out.
Yeah, you gotta dumb it down a little bit. I'm just kidding. Love you, DP.
It's what I'm best at.
I'm not sure that I've spoken to DP directly before.
Oh, don't start now. Whatever you do. Don't start now.
Just insults in chat. Okay. So pretty much
from Adelaide. Don't start now.
I feel like I owe almost everyone in the community some level of apology for being abusive towards them at some point in the past. I don't know.
What we're here.
Sometimes I just think it's
No
funny, and
apology
sometimes
necessary.
sometimes I just think it's funny to be rude, and it's a social handicap I've had to live with for decades.
We're both Australian.
I
I
don't mind.
absolutely get and respect it.
I don't really care being pushed back against, and even though you might be, some harsh on your critiques, I don't think you are like disrespectful. So, for example, Basil with me, like he critiques me, but he's cool with me for some reason, so I don't mind. But all right, Eric,
All right.
Are we here?
Share screen.
All right.
Share screen, and it was. This
Let me
one. There we go.
Remove that. Okay. Can you mute the music?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, hold on. I want in.
So
Yes.
you can join with your phone or with your computer. Just either scan the QR code or type in the pin going to the Kahoot.it thing. It's the same thing that I did on Toon's stream before.
Kahoot.it is the website?
Yeah.
Okay, let me link it. If everyone wants to play with us.
Yeah, so just type in that pin. I made two versions of the Kahoot every time that I do it. With my students, I do like one that's like a regular one that we do in class, which is like 20 seconds per question, and then a 1 minute version where every question gives you 60 seconds. And I chose the 60-second one for this one since it's on stream, and I assume there's some delay. on the stream.
Okay,
so.
no one said there'd be a test, and I've had way too much rum to actually try to read the stream, so I'm passing entirely.
No, come on, play. It's fun.
Can I play verbally? I don't want to have to click shit.
I mean, all you have to do is it's multiple choice. It's all multiple choice.
Fuck me.
Yeah,
fine.
you can just wing it.
Eric's doing this just to prove that I'm an idiot.
Dan, just answer based on how drunk you are, right?
That's true.
That's a good.
Can't drive legally. B for double that. C for whatever's past double. And D for I promise, Ossifer. I didn't.
Hold on, I gotta write these down.
No drinkstable. I haven't had a.
Bring me in.
I'm not.
So are you playing, or can I just use your name and pass it off as your results?
Yeah, just use mine.
And once you guys think we're good to go, I can hit start.
I'm doing
Password for $5.
MC2 and debunks.
Love you, man. Well, not really, but you're a good non-grifter. Well, thank you. I mean, we try. All right.
I just have to score higher than DP.
Okay.
What's the pin? It's 322-5347.
It just says
right here.
It just says you're in. Is that it?
Yeah, if it says you're in, you're good to go. I just have to hit start just once we think we're good to go.
Oh, everyone can play.
Eric,
you can join.
Eric, I'm putting that number in on my phone, but no one's answering. Something's wrong. I'm dialing the number, but nobody's picking up.
I think that means that you need to answer D according to MC Tune's thing for how drunk you are.
Got it. Just so everyone knows, it's lunchtime here, and I haven't had a drink since January.
I'll start it now, and then more people can join if they haven't gotten in yet. So.
Or Eric, thanks so much for this. I love this. This is super.
It's gonna be a shit show.
Yeah, that's good. Am I smarter than a fifth grader? We're gonna find out.
All right. Which unit is sometimes used for the wavelength of light by astronomers, but has mostly fallen out of use recently?
Recently,
yes. So old astronomers will still use this one sometimes, but younger astronomers rarely ever use this unit.
well, I mean, I can do the Kessel run, you know.
The unit used in the Kessel run is a distance unit, by the way, not a time unit.
Yeah, I knew that part.
Oh, yeah, I knew it wasn't parsec.
Yep. All right, angstroms. Angstroms are used a lot by older astronomers. Like you'll find old research papers that use angstroms a lot, which is one
term.
1 angstrom is 1/10 of a nanometer. So angstrom is to nanometer what millimeter is to centimeter.
You started talking about Star Wars, Eric, and I got totally confused. It's really unfair.
Because Kessel run in parsecs. Parsec is a distance measurement.
I thought it was a time measurement.
Yeah, nope. I know.
All right, which telescope type uses mirrors to reflect light passing through it? Hopefully, you guys can get this one.
And what is the drawback of this type? What's the drawback of this type of telescope?
Ooh.
DP would know because he tried to use a stone for it.
Can you repeat the pin, please?
It's on the bottom.
It's on the bottom here. 322-5347. Reflecting telescope.
Does anybody know the drawback of using a reflecting telescope?
I did at one point.
He's upside down.
Not chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberration is refracting telescopes.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
For reflecting, it flips it upside down.
Image is reversed.
So it uses a mirror. It uses a mirror so you cannot see space vampires.
Oh.
That too. What does the term seen refer to in astronomy? A couple definitions here for you guys to look at.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, a little bit of reading for you. With how little
Oh boy!
With how little my students read, I wonder how many of them even read or would read this question if I put it on the test. Like I will put instructions to do stuff on the board for my students, and they will ask me to do stuff where the instructions literally tell them what it's supposed to be. It's like, are you kidding me, guys?
Literally,
and my students are all 11th and 12th grade.
I wish we had astronomy in my high school when I was in it.
Yeah, that would be
I
cool.
had to take out my guessing gun for this one.
11th and 12th grade, in the bottom left corner, we've got a fuzzy little monster with horns and a top hat. That's the best thing ever.
Tosis says, flares get all of these correct in a nanosecond.
Oh,
true.
All right, the amount of image wiggling and blurring because of atmospheric conditions. So seeing is basically stuff that ground-based telescopes have to deal with.
Ah,
okay. I thought it was circle.
Oh, that's because it's looking through the waters above.
Exactly.
The waters above.
Oh, damn firmament.
Yeah.
All right, telescopes on the backs of airplanes observe in which part of the electromagnetic spectrum?
Holy cow!
Rude.
What?
Yep, there are telescopes on the backs of 747s. Certain ones.
Sophia.
Yes. Now, which wavelength is Sophia looking in?
Not too long ago, there was a flirt saying, I think it was Demok. Why don't they put telescopes on inside planes and look up and stuff like that?
Well, they do.
Oops.
Look up the Sophia telescope.
So I'm guessing. I did not know that they had telescopes on the back of.
Yeah, I'm a total guess at this point.
It would be infrared.
Oh,
I got it wrong.
Got to use either
optical.
for telescopes on airplanes. That you need, that's for infrared because infrared gets absorbed a lot by water vapor. So you need to fly up above the clouds and way up above the clouds to see in the far infrared for the most part. So near infrared does.
I actually knew that
far
one.
Infrared. Far infrared, you have to go up way higher. Like I think Sophia flies at like 45,000 feet or something, whereas regular planes are at like 32,000 feet normal flying, I think.
Jack Fetter for
Given
489
that PhD Tony didn't know
said,
they existed, I'm 100% okay with getting that wrong.
Mike was right in that Han Solo used the term incorrectly in Star Wars. Time, not distance. They cleared it up later, but it was wrong.
Oh,
Thank you,
man.
Jack.
Which form of electromagnetic radiation has the highest energy?
Thank you, Jack. Electromagnetic radiation has the highest.
Damn, I feel like I'm going to have to hand in my high school diploma after this.
Oh, come on. It's
I already mailed it to Eric, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. My GED isn't holding up right now.
GED
Well,
or IUD, Mike?
Think about it for like degrees, whatever. You know how Trey Cation said that he had his degree next to him or whatever, and he could show you. The funny thing is that I actually do have one of my degrees hanging on the wall right next to me right now.
Oh.
DP, I'm 82 points behind you. Look out.
So gamma is the highest energy. That's why you do not want to be
82
near
points
gamma
behind
rays.
me, and you're hammered. That's a pretty vicious indictment of my capabilities.
I've had a fair amount of rum.
A lens with two components made of different kinds of glass to bring two wavelengths to the same focus is called a and what? It would help if I put a picture on this one, but did not. Just
Yeah,
to get-
probably. I'm thinking I'm wrong.
Basil says, what degree Eric has? It's a master's in astronomy, right?
Yes. So double majored physics and astronomy in undergrad, and then my master's technically is a master's degree in physics, but all my research was astronomy. All right, an achromatic lens.
Dude, it just told me we all have bad days.
Mine says it's not over just yet.
So an achromatic lens, which fixed chromatic aberration, which is the thing that refracting.
Oh, I
telescopes
should have
have
known
to
that
deal with.
one. I fucked that one up.
Tony's like on it, dude. He's like, hold my beer.
What is the diameter of the largest telescope in the world?
Oh, this I know.
Hey,
Wait, in the world as
Can
in
I
land-based
clarify?
or-
Can I
or human-made?
clarify here? Are we talking about an optical telescope?
Not just optical telescopes.
Okay.
See what you're doing here.
Telescopes of any wavelength of light.
No, you don't, DP.
Oh fuck!
You don't know any more than I do.
I don't think there is an optical telescope that is as big as any of these options.
No, but
I was watching. I was watching
Arecibo
a
used to be the
technical
biggest.
video on the big ass Magellan telescope they're building in Chile. That one is going to be a blast.
That's insane.
Yes, I got one right.
500. It's a 500 meter diameter radio telescope in China. Arecibo
Yeah, it's
used
bigger
to be
than the
largest at
Arecibo one.
Yep, Arecibo used to be the largest at 305. That one's in Puerto Rico, and unfortunately destroyed now.
Boo.
But
That's
if
the
you guys
only
want to
reason
watch
why I
a
didn't
really
think
cool
305 because it
video,
was broke.
look up the security cam footage of Arecibo when it did break. It's actually really cool to see.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
What device was used in the Mickelson
We all better
Morley
get this one
experiment?
right.
I think we've talked
Yeah,
about
we
that
better
enough
get
on
this
this
right.
stream. I think we've talked about that enough on this channel.
Shout out hashtag Witsit is my spirit animal.
CC is mine.
Funny enough, I actually asked my students one day because like a student tried to make like a flat Earth joke or something, and I asked them like, how many of you have actually come across flat Earth content in your doom scrolling on TikTok? And one person did actually raise their hand.
Wow. Well, that's great that only one person did, though. That's
Another
comforting.
student said that they had heard of TFE before.
Okay, that's cool.
Nice.
So look, now I have a good reason to fail.
Look, now you're famous, Tune.
All right.
Yes.
Let's go.
I hate that that's in my brain. Oh.
What is the name of the optical distortion that limits the use of refracting telescopes?
Oh, I know.
I may have mentioned this a couple times already.
Well,
Mikey Smith.
I mean, I just think of Mikey Smith. Yeah, exactly.
Mikey Smith. Yeah, Mikey Smith.
Mikey Smith should definitely be an option here.
No, that would be if it was binoculars.
Nice.
I'm on the board.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, nice.
All right. Which telescope type uses a lens to focus light passing through it? I have to give them a couple easy questions.
Basil says, why wasn't Eric able to make it through PhD exams? I don't know. This is fun.
Well, a PhD, I did attempt to go into a PhD program after my master's, but I was so burnt out of taking classes, and I did not feel like staying as a student for another like 4 to 6 years. And where I was for my PhD, I was living in Miami. Living in Miami is not fucking possible on a PhD student's salary. Like Miami is so expensive.
Oh, I thought he was referring to the whole this thing. Sorry, I did understand the question.
No, but PhD, like I could go back if I really wanted to, but I'm fine with just a master's.
Is the problem there, Eric, that you can't afford to like pay rent, get food, and feed all your pet alligators in Florida at the same time?
Basically, yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, I don't know any of these people. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Mo.
Oh, Annie. If Annie jumps cannon, then
two of these people worked at the Harvard Observatory. One of them classified hundreds of thousands of stars.
I feel like if I took your class, I would know the answer to this question.
Well, yeah, if you took my class, you'd know the answer to all of them. All my students should know the answers to all 30 of these.
Which
oh my god, I got it right!
Have retention.
It was Annie Jump Cannon. It was Annie Jump Cannon, yes.
I got it just based on the
Henrietta.
name. That is nomenclature determination. Determinism. Sorry.
Annie-Jump Cannon.
I
Was
got
the
it wrong,
leader
but
of
I
the-
wanted it
of-
to be Annie Jump Cannon because that's like the coolest name ever.
Yes.
Because she was basically the leader of the Harvard computers, which were like all the women that did all the calculations for the Harvard Observatory. Edward Pickering was the head of the Harvard Observatory, and him and Annie Jump Cannon and all of the other Harvard computers combined basically created the stellar classification system that we use today.
And apparently, Annie Jump Cannon moonlighted as a stunt performer.
Yes.
Slash superhero.
Yeah. I used that same question on a quiz this unit, and one person put a comment saying "weird name" when they chose that one, and I wrote when I was grading it, I wrote "I agree."
Nice.
All right, blank uses computers to monitor the distortion produced by turbulence in Earth's atmosphere and alter telescopes' optics.
This one I'm pretty sure I know.
Oh, I saw the.
Yes, you
this
saw the
was
same
part
video
of the
I did.
Video of
Yep.
the Magellan telescope. It's fascinating stuff, like in real time.
I would assume the Magellan telescope has this on it. Yes.
Yes.
Adaptive optics.
Oh, nice.
Jump back up to 10th
Adaptive
place. I'm
optics
breaking
are
the top
really
10.
freaking cool. The problem is that adaptive optics are really freaking expensive.
Yes.
All right, which part of the electromagnetic spectrum requires cylindrical mirrors to focus the light?
A bit
Dun,
too
dun,
swift.
dun.
I must have gotten it wrong. Kahoot,
I got the same answer. That
Kahoot does a lot of gaslighting. Yes. It's very
I don't
fun.
like this
I allow my
program.
students, like, if they want to, they can work together, like in like groups of two if they really want to. And it's really funny where it's like if one of them gets it wrong and the other person is like, I thought you knew that. Like the anger that comes between the groups is really funny to watch.
Yo, I'm 283 points behind MC Toon. Let's go.
X-ray telescopes require cylindrical mirrors to actually focus the light because X-rays need to be like bounced off at really shallow angles. And a good example to look at to see like how long the telescopes have to be. Look up the Chandra X-ray telescope. It's like a super long tube, and it's all just because of the cylindrical mirrors. Tony back on top.
Nice.
Which telescope power refers to the ability of the telescope to reveal fine detail?
Ooh.
Oh.
I know I got it wrong.
That was quick.
I'm guessing. It just said done in a flash, so I'm guessing I guessed wrong.
That's what my wife says too.
What does it mean if I click? Eric, what does it mean if I
Yes.
click the answer and it says "you dumb fuck"? What is it? I don't.
Oh, I got it right.
Resolving power.
I took your spot in top 10.
If it says "you dumb fuck," then you must be on a bootleg version of Kahoot because since
Look,
this is
I'm in
Kahoot is
13th
used in a lot of
place, so
schools,
that's
I
gotta
doubt
put me
it
at
would
the
say
bottom.
dumb fuck.
I shouldn't have done it incognito. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right, halfway. Blank involves splitting light into its constituent components.
Oh.
I know that one.
I know
It
that
needs a
one because.
container.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Oh, I got it wrong. God damn it.
No. Damn.
So much for that top 10, Mike.
I was thinking.
According to Mr. Potato Head, it requires a container.
God damn it.
I'm just going to start waiting for the clues. Wow. Mike, how does it feel to be one of two that hosed that up?
I knew it was
How does
spectroscopy,
it
but I
feel
was like,
I
oh.
wasn't one of the two?
And then the song goes sunlight, starlight, and refraction.
Hey, Mike,
you
I'd
know?
just like to say I took your place in the top 10, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Jack Feather for 4.99 says, "What does my penis have in common with an X-ray telescope?"
It's cylindrical.
The potential for radiation poisoning.
Wrong. And cylindrical. Oh my god.
The photography or imaging of astronomical objects, celestial events, or areas of the night sky is known as what?
Ah, that's an easy one. That's for the dumb people in the back of the class, right?
Mike, you would get that wrong.
I can guarantee you that there's going to be kids that get the easy questions wrong on this Kahoot, because I have a lot of students that do not listen to a word that I say. But for me, in my class, honestly, like since they're all juniors and seniors, I want to prepare them for college. So if you don't pay attention to my class, it's your grade, not mine. And it definitely shows on tests. And tests are worth 50% of the grade in my class.
Who said radio?
You a flat earther in your chat that's playing right now. Just
really. Is there
some feedback on that question? I didn't
Jack
see an option
Fetter.
for CGI or faking gay.
Oh.
Jack
So
Fetter,
in other words, DP said radio.
answering the previous question, they're both really long too.
So I definitely could not put fake and gay on as an answer choice when I'm doing this in Florida. Florida government does not like when the word gay is used in school.
No, it's GHEY. You got to spell it right.
Yeah.
That makes it okay.
Even if it sounds like it, they don't like it.
It's your call,
I'm
Eric.
creeping
Hey,
up behind
they
you.
won't go broke. That's all I'm saying.
Light has both
I know this one.
properties, and how it behaves depends partly on how you treat it.
I know this one. I did a video on it.
Oh.
Next up, I'm going to do the history of the speed of light and how close they got in back when they had lanterns and men mirrors and buzzsaws.
Eric, can I hire you to write some scripts for me, please?
Write some scripts.
Yeah, and I need some scripts written, please.
All right,
oh, come on! I was one of two people.
Way to go,
again.
Mike.
Well, light has energy; it doesn't have mass.
Well,
Yeah, he didn't get that far. He just
that
read
was
energy.
stupid.
And said
That was a stupid whatever.
Mike's
All
like,
right.
Yeah, but shut up.
Yeah.
Light is not a name in English for people, but in Spanish it is a name, and I know for a fact that Luz did have mass.
Well, I thought
Especially in the back
the
end.
question was, "What's your favorite color?" So I picked the green one. Sorry, I can't read.
Okay, June and I can't do colors.
detected
Knock it
what
off.
in 2015 from the merger of two massive black holes in a distant galaxy.
If I get this one wrong, then
You need to go.
yeah,
Close up your channel.
because my cousin, what worked for that team at LIGO.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was a pretty big friggin' deal. It was so.
I
sick.
remember the college that I was at. We had a lady interview for a physics teaching job there, and she was like a part of that team for LIGO, and so we were really trying to get this lady to teach here or teach where I was going. But our school was like really, really small, so there was no way that we were her first choice to work.
Look, sometimes you have to go down to 10th or 11th choice. I mean, I'd take it from experience.
We would have been probably bottom of the barrel for her choices, like just so she had something on the boards.
Look, yeah, I've had to take
If
the
it
barrel
wasn't for
sometimes.
scraping the bottom of the barrel and hitting your 10th or 11th choice, I would not have a career.
Like for example, for example, for how small our department was, my astrophysics class had 3 people.
Oh boy.
June, I'm catching up. I'm 600 points behind you.
Basil
18
says the
points.
University of Miami physics program is a joke.
It wasn't University of Miami that I was at for PhD. I was at Florida International.
FIU.
Yep, FIU. I was there for 1 semester and stopped. Or actually, 1 year. I was there for 2 semesters. What is the name for a particle of light?
Everyone knows as neutrino.
Basil, are you playing with us?
I'm only playing with myself. I mean,
don't cry on my stream, dude.
Wait, who's crying? Yo, Sig has a 16 answer.
All right. Which form of electromagnetic radiation is used for Doppler radar?
Oh no.
I'd be wrong. I can feel it in my jellies.
I don't
Gee, if
know.
only there was a radio.
I clicked the
Gee, if only there was a radio.
I clicked the wrong button on this one. I know this.
Oh no!
If there's only a guy who did radio on this one.
God damn it, Dan.
I mean, that's kind of what I did.
But is it
I looked at the
radio,
question
though?
was like, Dan would
It's
know.
not
this.
microwave, but
It's
still.
microwave.
Yeah.
I lost my streak.
Yep, microwave is used for Doppler radar.
I have a 3-answer streak.
Tony, you saying you clicked the wrong one? I'm guessing you're the one that accidentally clicked X-ray on that.
No, I did end up clicking microwave. Sorry, I thought I'd clicked the wrong one.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Nice.
Happy Accidents by Bob Ross and PhD Tony.
Even when he's wrong, Tony's right.
1 second.
What was the name of the postulated medium for the propagation of light through space? That's
come on.
It's Flirt's
Eric, you've been hanging around
favorite.
Flirts way too long.
Hashtag, I miss you
misspelled
with
it.
it. Come back.
You
You
misspelled
can't
it
include
too.
that
You
question in
spell
this quiz unless you play the video of him passing out in the chair. That's the rule.
I would have spelled it the other way, but the textbook the textbook that we use for this class spelled it this way. So
Oh,
Look, the textbooks are all wrong, Eric. Just get over it.
the textbook used the American spelling.
I got
Oh,
it
I'm in
right.
eighth
I didn't think I
place.
did. Sorry, my son was screaming for me because the cat was stuck in the bedroom.
EV producer for $5 says, from what I've gathered about Jack Fetter from his comments, I just assume he glued mirrors to his rod.
It makes it look bigger from long distance.
All right. Well, we mentioned this earlier.
That's a good thing that you gave us the answer like 10 minutes ago.
Eric, why did you
Well,
tell
I
me this was
forgot
on
it
the
already.
test?
I was near there in December.
Nice. Arecibo.
Climbed up to 7th place.
Yo, I'm 12th place.
Out. I'm making a move.
Green Bank is the place that I applied to for a job recently and still waiting to hear back from.
Yo.
Fingers
get it,
crossed.
bud.
It's in West Virginia, right?
Yep. In the U.S. radio quiet zone.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Can't even have Wi-Fi there.
Yeah. Which reflecting telescope design is often used for smaller telescopes but becomes inconvenient for large telescopes?
Oh, fuck if I know.
Oh, well, yeah, it's this one, obviously.
How are we supposed to know? What?
Well, my students would know because we've talked about it in our notes.
I know because I've heard
If they were
it
paying
say,
attention.
I've heard Reds talk about that.
Yeah, but
I'm
I
sure-
assume that Reds and Astronomy Live would probably be able to answer this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
it
wanna
just
see
said
red
solid effort, so I'm guessing I fucked that one up.
It would be Newtonian.
Oh, I got it right.
Oh, I got it
Newtonian
wrong.
design.
I like the name Schmidt, so I picked that one.
So
Max,
Newtonian
I'm
is-
576 points behind you.
The reason why Newtonian
I overthought
designs
that.
are bad for big telescopes is because the eyepiece is at the top of the telescope rather than at the bottom. So if you have a really
Just get a
big
bigger ladder.
telescope, well, if you get a really big telescope, that means you're going to need a staircase or a ladder to get up to your camera or your eyepiece. So it's good. It's
Unless
good
you
for
mean, in
small
which
telescopes.
case you get a standard size Newtonian telescope and you still need a fucking step ladder to get
And
up
you
to the
still
ladder.
need a ladder.
No! I dropped. Damn it.
You think I'm
Few
joking?
questions left. What is the biggest advantage space telescopes have over ground-based telescopes?
Oh, Avi.
They're in space. Oh.
Boom. It's cooler. Space
Well, that's
telescopes are closer to the stars. I love that one.
They're
smaller.
They're faker and gayer.
Oh shit! I did click that they were closer to stars. Damn, you saying that's wrong?
Yeah. You
No
lied.
seeing distortion.
I mean, technically, it's not wrong.
I don't know who not you is, but you're banned.
Well, them being closer to the stars is technically true, but it's not their biggest advantage.
No, they see better because
It's
they're
subjective.
closer to God.
How is frequency of light
Yeah,
measured?
That's what I'm saying. That's right.
No, fuck, I fucked up.
I think it's this one. I don't know.
I errantly had my mouse in the middle of like 3 boxes, and I'm not sure which one it clicked.
Just say you guessed. It's okay.
No, I grabbed the mouse and it clicked, and I'm like, I don't know what it picked.
Just blame it on the rum.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I got it right. I'm lit. I'm not gonna lie.
No, if you mess up,
because the way to remember this one is because the unit for frequency is hertz, or hertz can also be written as 1 divided by seconds.
Oh, okay.
I will
Yeah, you're not gonna
absolutely
remember
remember
that,
that.
I love how much I'm learning
you're
tonight. I did not know I was going to learn
you. I
something.
need you to fumble an answer, okay?
What is light pollution?
Pollution that's really easy to carry around.
Oh. My wife's having a little too much fun back there.
Well, it's obviously without you.
Well, we're supposed to go on a date tonight.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
20 minutes.
In 20 minutes?
Yeah. We're either ordering food in or going out to karaoke. So in 20 minutes, she's going to tell me what she feels like.
And you're in a t-shirt and Boston cap. Yeah, that's going to go well.
And
shorts? Yep.
Not wearing pants.
All right.
No
The size of diffraction fringe is inversely proportional to the what of the telescope?
Girth. Oh.
You say girth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also known as diameter, but okay. Oh, I don't know. I can't even think.
When
Well, I had a string of 13 correct answers. That ended.
Eric, when you're thinking of the questions, do you like, for example, if you've done a couple that are option A, do you move them to another option just so you don't have like a sequence of 5A answers?
Yeah, whenever I make the test, I try to make sure I don't have like a lot of them that are like A, like in a row. Because I remember on tests, whenever that happened to me, like taking a test, it would always be like, wait a minute, one of these has to be wrong. Something's wrong here.
Now he tells me.
Like, for
Explain
the,
my whole strategy.
For the Kahoot stuff, you can set it to like randomize the order of the stuff for the Kahoot, so that's what I do there. But then whenever I make the test myself, I make sure to check and see what the answer choices look like on the like when you do all the letters out.
Look, I'm the highest climber.
Blank can be effective for space telescopes because they can be folded up for launch and unfolded once in orbit.
Hey, Zumi, you're not wrong. Of course, Tony's in first.
Yeah, I would assume so.
If the Canadian Space Advocate or
I
Marcus
feel,
Leach were
I
playing,
feel
we
bound
would
to
be
point
losing.
out this is not my speciality. Okay, so
No, but if Marcus Leach or Canadian Space Advocate were both playing, we would be getting wiped.
Yeah. I hope I'm right on this one because it'd be really cool. It was really cool to imagine. But it would be very difficult. Wow.
Segmented mirrors. So the James Webb telescope, for example, is segmented mirrors, and like when it's folded up, it kind of looks like a little canoe.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool looking.
No,
I've
not
watched
you.
animation
I
of it
need you to
unfolding.
fumble one. Well, now 2 answers, please, so I can get back my 4th spot, or you're banned.
Oh, we know this. We just did this one.
Wavelength of light measured.
Oh, never mind.
And it's not in angstroms anymore.
Yeah. That was the first
It can
question.
be done in
right?
sheep.
Yeah.
In sheep.
Sheep units.
Also, no longer measured in buckets.
If sheep
Look,
units are
my
length,
brain
then
could not
technically-
process the answers in this.
Distance between peaks of a wave. So peak to peak of a wave equals the wavelength.
Oh, son of a bitch. I legit
I'm in
misclicked. I'm
fifth.
so dirty.
Yeah.
No!
Oh,
Well, I guess you
no.
gotta ban. I guess you gotta ban 2 now.
MC2 had to go.
Which telescope power is considered the least important?
I'm just guessing at this point. Fuck it.
Least important? They all seem pretty freaking important.
It's subjective, and I'm standing by that.
That's a project manager answer there. Everything is equally important. I need them all done the same time for the least amount of money, and they have to be perfect tomorrow.
This would be magnifying
all
power. the
special
least
in our
important.
own way.
Because magnifying power can easily be switched around. Just change your eyepiece out, and then the light
No,
gathering.
you can
and
actually
resolving
zoom
power.
in on the camera on your phone to make sure that the magnifying power gets better.
Yeah, you don't need to switch anything. You just
Yeah,
I've
so-
heard,
and then you
I've
just
heard
say,
an eminence
you
in
just
the
say,
field of
magnify.
astrophotography.
So-
I've heard
so
an
I-
eminence in the field of
Enhance.
astrophotography that he says he uses binoculars because he wants to see less of the sky, not more.
I
that makes
like
sense.
using my manual zoom function. Like if I want to see my webcam in greater detail, I use the manual zoom.
Speaking of, are we done?
Yep, that was all.
Yeah, that
30.
was it. That was fun.
5th place. Max, you're going down, Max.
And
You went
embarrassing.
down.
No!
And Tony first, of course.
Yo, let's go, Tony.
Stop sharing.
Woohoo!
Beautiful.
Does it tell us where the rest of us were?
Yeah, I can. Here, hang on 1 second.
Don't publicize where I was. But on that, I
I definitely want to see if I finished ahead of DP of the other Dirt Vengers here.
All right, I gotta hop off,
Right
you guys.
us.
Thanks for having me, Max. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a fun
Have
vacation,
fun at
MC2.
karaoke.
Yeah, thank
Have
you,
fun at karaoke.
Eric. That was a lot of
Sing
fun.
Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap for me. All right.
I'm singing Simple Minds. Dan,
WAP for
Dirty
me.
Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
all right.
Hey,
I
Mike,
didn't
thanks for
call
that
you
phone
again
call today, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't call you again either today. And Tony, good to see you.
Hey,
and
Have a great evening.
Mike, let's make it easy. Send me a text on when the dates of the Lowell Folk Festival are so I can make sure I'm available.
yeah, all right, perfect. Yeah, all right, I'll do that.
We will
That's all I needed from
remember
you.
not to do
You
that.
just need it. Okay, all right. I love you guys. Bye.
If you guys
Bye.
if you want to see,
Yeah,
if
he'll
you want to
fuck
see
it up.
everyone's position,
Bye.
here
He'll
you
forget.
go. Here's everyone's position in the top 15.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
Yes, I'm right behind
Let me
Max.
make it
can't read
bigger.
that.
So I'll read it out. Tony, Sig, Basket Case, Not You, MC Toon, Max, Unfornicated, Igor, Doodle, MC Toon Debunk, Stanley, Lost Lands, Zoomy, Specs, Lindsay. Scroll down a bit. Eric, please.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
TDDS, Boston Concerts, Blackburn, Big Dragon, Calder, Curious UK, and Vanguard.
Vanguard did not answer a single one.
Blackburn Big Dragon says that was 30 guesses for me. Eric, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no
lot
problem.
of fun.
Do I pass?
Yeah, I loved when I
73%,
did
or am I
I
going to
did
summer
the
school?
I
did
think
the
that
trivia
counts
on my
as passing
channel.
72.
when we did the streamathon. I did the trivia that I think we all had a lot of fun on. It was just random bullshit. It was pretty funny.
So I think I would have passed your class with the score that I got, right?
If you got
Yeah,
over
you and I got a
70,
73.
that
That's a
would be-
C.
That's a C, yeah.
I
We're good.
don't know what
Please
that
get
means.
degrees,
Do I
people.
pass or not?
Yes.
C equals good.
Okay.
C equals passing.
Wait,
average.
How did they grade things in Uruguay?
1 to 12.
Oh,
They can't count higher.
and
That's
what's
why.
passing?
5.
Okay, so we got
and
a
what's
6.
failing? 6 or 4?
4.
Okay, so Max,
4
we got
is
about a
failing.
6 or a 7.
Boo.
That's nice.
I
Hold on a
don't want to
second.
hear
I wanna
6,
be-
7 ever again.
6, 7.
It goes from 12. 12's the best.
12's the
Passing.
best, yeah. Perfect
Four-
score.
4 is the worst passing, or 5 is the worst.
No, 5's the worst passing. Yes.
Passing. Okay, and then 4 and down is fail.
Yes.
That makes
So-
no sense.
You're like that's like 33% is all you need to get to pass in Uruguay. Is that how it works?
No.
No,
in
it
general,
makes perfect sense in the sense that sort of if you view it as a bell curve,
like a curve,
right,
yes.
then the bottom third are the fails.
Oh, sorry.
Right, and everything and
Okay.
the other 2/3 are passing. Right.
It's because you guys use metric, right?
Yes.
It's
No,
probably it's
no.
metric
If it
scoring
were
grading
metric,
system.
it would be base 10.
Yes,
True.
we use those horrible metric numbers.
So here, I posted in the chat. I posted my Amazon teacher wish list. By the way, if so basically the only thing I really need from that is copy paper, because the school does not give us unlimited copy paper. We get a certain amount for the entire year, and then anything after that we have to pay for ourselves. And I'm way past what I
Go buy him paper, people.
Yeah, if you can throw him if you can throw him a ream of paper, do so. Eric, watch out! Like
Eric, you're
be
getting
on the lookout to dodge.
Reamed. Everyone's going to ream Eric. That's what I'm hearing.
I did this when I was on Tunes thing, and like I got like 20 reams of paper from that. So thank you for everyone again that said that one, and thank you everyone who's
you're getting 3 more now.
So many paper airplanes.
Thank you.
I imagine Eric just in his living room dodging reams of paper like Neo. But yeah, hey, if you can, like, avoid sending super chats for the rest of the stream, which we don't have much left, but send reams of paper. Come on.
The real reason he wants them is he's
All right,
building
I'm gonna go
sustainable house.
Prep for my live stream here. Thanks,
Yeah,
Max. Always love having coming on with you, everybody else.
All right,
I'll see you in a bit.
we'll hold the fort here for a moment, and the redirect is already set up to his stream, so you'll be redirected automatically to Tune. I
just learned that tonight.
Started doing final thoughts, but we got carried away. So let's do final thoughts again. Eric, that is a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Because that was way better than listening to Roger again.
Thanks. It was good to come up. I was trying to figure out something to do myself tonight, and did not feel like grading more homework stuff from my students, and was like, let's do something fun with it. And they've got a test this week, so might as well.
I can't thank you enough. Electron Element says toilet paper is on the list.
Do I have toilet paper on the list?
No, paper towels. Paper
towel. Yeah, no, paper towels is on the list, not toilet paper.
I mean, you could use that for toilet paper, but it's not going to end well.
Yeah, no.
It clogs the toilet.
I will admit that it does kind of look like toilet paper from the picture. If you don't read that it says paper towels, it does look like toilet paper.
Oh, Eric, why do you have low odor dry erase markers? You need the high odor, otherwise you don't get half the high that you should.
Oh my! I bought new markers, and marker smell is so good. Blackbird Big Dragon says Roger would have claimed that he was the champion of that test. I would love to see a flat earther take any of these tests.
Yeah, it would be very funny to like go into one of the Discord calls whenever someone's doing like a giant like thing, and just be like, "Hey, you guys want to test your knowledge on astronomy and see how they do on any of my stuff?"
Oh,
none of them know how to mute. So every question, because none of them know how to mute or tech, all you'd hear is keyboard clacking as they furiously ask Flat GPT.
You claim you know the globe model better than the Globers. It's like, let's put that to the test.
Yeah, so
shall we?
Are you smarter than high school students?
He's smarter than a flirf grader.
Simon WJO says top-notch stuff, mate. Yes, isn't the hero of the night? Thank you so much. Let's start doing final thoughts again, and we'll be on our way. Dano.
Yeah, Roger and his minions are dumb. That's all I'm going to say to that. Eric, that was fun. I don't feel like an idiot now since I had a nice run in the middle. I thank Mike and DP for throwing it to make sure that I finished ahead. So I appreciate them for doing that for me. Those are some good friends. Too bad that, one of them doesn't know how to return a phone call. No, you know what? I always appreciate these streams. I always appreciate learning something new. And Tony forced me to remember shit from when I was like in 4th grade, and I haven't thought about in decades. So I appreciate that because it keeps me sharp and keeps me on my game. And now I feel less like an idiot when I think about it again. So thank you for that, sir. Otherwise, it's been fun as always, and I will see everybody over at Tunes.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan, for your marathon stream today and coming hang out with us. I think that that was an overload of derp, and we'll continue going with that. Tony.
Just checking that I'm unmuted here. Yeah, thank you for having the stream. That was a lot of fun, Eric. Thank you very much. Lovely to be on the stream with you, DP. It's a privilege. Thank you, Dan and Max, for making me feel very welcome. Just a nice, fun stream. Pleasure. Thank you for brightening up my afternoon.
Tony, anytime you want to come over on one of my live streams and hang out and discuss random things, you're welcome anytime.
No, I'd be happy to.
You are very welcome, Tony. Thank you for bringing in the knowledge of the S&P waves, because I would have probably almost botched that explanation. DP, glad to see you regularly out and about in the debunking fields. Final thoughts, please.
I mean, yeah, it turns out you can get evicted just from living in a cave. Who knew? Like, it's crazy. Also, Dan is responsible for reminding me of shit I haven't thought about since 4th grade, but I'm getting counseling for that, and I will be okay. Honor and a privilege to sit in on any kind of panel with PhD Tony, because you're a champion, sir. I'd invite you to hang out on one of my streams, but A, I haven't done one for 7 months, and B, they're just fucking ridiculous, and you'd hate it because we just talk nonsense. Roger Ledwell's an idiot, and I sent him money and doxed myself in the process to fund his Antarctica trip. So that's pretty much my thought. But always fun to hang out here on Yerba Mate Talks, one of my favorite channels ever. Eric, that was fun as hell, and I get to tell everyone forevermore I passed the same test as PhD Tony. So yeah, that's going in the Louvre. That's where that's going. But good times. Thanks for having me, Max.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you. Eric, final thoughts.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me up for doing that for that little extra hour that we had. And definitely fun listening to stuff for the P and S wave stuff. The thing I always think about whenever I think of P and S waves, not just for earthquakes, but I mentioned it in the chat that P and S waves sometimes get used to tell when certain countries are doing nuclear testing underground. Because I forget what year it was, but I remember reading an article that seismographs picked up stuff that's traced back to North Korea doing underground tests or something. So
yeah, and sort of nuclear detonations have very different characteristics from natural earthquakes. So yeah.
I showed that comment. I didn't read it because we were in the middle of something else, but I did show that comment. So thank you so much. I'm so glad that all of you are here with your vast troves of knowledge.
I'm here too.
Roger is an idiot. I'm still waiting on him to copyright strike any of my videos. We goaded him into copyright striking Mike, but for some reason he doesn't dare do that to me, because I will fight that every step of the way. Roger, you're a dumbass. Your whole panel is just, if you line each of you ear to ear, it's a wind tunnel, and if you cover your noses, you can play the trumpet. So
Hey, Max, real quick.
Yes.
PhD Tony, we're doing a panel with some of us debunkers over Marcus Leach and his what was it? The orbital Earth orbit stuff using the 21 centimeter hydrogen line through a radio telescope as well as pulsars. So you're welcome to do that whenever we get around to doing that. We'll send you an email. I'm sure everyone who's on the panel has contact with you and can drop you a line if you felt like joining the panel.
All right. Thank you so much. So yeah, Roger doing a massive sprint to win top left, even though it's not a conscious effort. But oh boy, he is deserving of top left. He's really worked for that. So before we go, make sure to do the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and you'll subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And I'm fornicated. Sorry, I almost forget, but I got it. I'm going to send you over to MC Toon's channel, who should be ready and usually starts right on the dot. Thank you everyone for hanging out here on the panel and over there. Eric, special thanks to you because that was fantastic thing you did for us. We'll catch you during the week. Love you all. Take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
See you.